Alrighty, I think I'm finally getting a hang of this live stream thing after, I think this is kind of like my 6th or 7th time ever. I've been doing this for 4 years. Didn't do live streams at first, but well, here we are doing a monthly live stream. I do like monthly live streams, to be honest, when I showcase something, but today's live stream is going to be a little different. Kind of got a free-for-all. So for those of you who pop in, or for those of you who are looking at the replay, thank you so much, and welcome to RPG Elite. This is a place where we put the RP back in the RPG, baby. I give you tools, I give you tips, I give you tutorials, I give you real talk about the tabletop RPG space to make your tabletop RPG experience more immersive and enjoyable and meaningful, with that last one being a high focus through the RPG Elite philosophy. So thank you very much for coming in today. Like I said, it's a free-for-all. I am going to kind of, normally what we do on a live stream is a showcase. And so I showcase all of these different products from different tabletop RPG publishers. We've done Marvel in the past and Vassin, and these are all the different tabletop RPGs. SCP we did, I'm pretty sure we did, and Yellow Hand. And we're going to do some things with Yellow Hand today because, like I said, I'm just going to take all of this stuff that I'm doing and today and just kind of, it'll be a hodgepodge of me just doing some unboxings. We're going to take a look at some things and just kind of see where it'll lead us today. So I'm pretty excited about this. I love unboxings because I love, you love getting new stuff, right? And one of the boxes, which is the bigger box of the two, is actually from a gaming company or gaming companies. I don't really know, actually. Sitting right here next to me. I'm not really sure. Okay, so this is how it works. Normally, I'll go out and I will look for games every once in a while. I'm at a point right now to where I pulled back from doing that because I have too many games and there's still games that I need to cover. And so I have a lot. So I pull back from that, but maybe once a month now, maybe I'll go and I'll look to see, hey, what's new, what's come onto the scene. And I do this in line with what I call the 4 pillars of RPG Elite. There are 4 pillars that we have. And for some of you who may be watching this on the replay, you might be watching this on the replay. If you're watching this live, I am going to probably chop this up and make this into separate videos. So you'll see the same thing twice on my channel, but hey, that's just how we roll here. Not only me, but the channels that actually do it right. That's what they do. But there's 4 pillars of RPG Elite. And those 4 pillars are, number 1, the RPG Elite philosophy, which is a proprietary philosophy in how I approach tabletop RPGs. Not only tabletop RPGs though, but how the RPG Elite philosophy actually just affects your life in general. Number 2 would be classic tabletop RPGs, and I define that as tabletop RPGs that are 20 years old or older, so 2 decades, half of a generation. And so I'm saying, okay, it's getting into the classic territory once we get there. So that is the other focus, one other focus. Then we got another one, which is alternative genre, non-fantasy tabletop RPG. So I do not cover any kind of traditional fantasy, high, low, dark, whatever. I do not cover it. Medieval, don't cover it. Okay. When it comes to tabletop RPGs, I focus more on sci-fi and action and superheroes and supernatural and post-apocalyptic, all that stuff. So that's the stuff that I focus on in terms of genres when it comes to tabletop RPGs. So you will not find the most popular games, which are almost always fantasy. Like there are a glut of fantasy tabletop RPGs out there, but there is also an impressive amount of alternative genre, non-fantasy tabletop RPGs. And so, like I told you, I mean, I'm having a hard time keeping up. So, hey, I just focus on those. That has been pretty much the focus of the channel from day one. And when I say day one, I don't talk about when I started the channel, and because I started the channel in 2019. But I did not, I just started the channel, to be honest, the channel started as a video recap for my players who were playing the One Ring. That's what it started off as. Then I started saying, okay, well, maybe I'll just go ahead and do a little something to experiment, right? So I experimented with it, but I was like most people at the time, you kind of do it and you drop it and you don't do it anymore, until I came across Sean Cannell from Think Media. And I'm trying to learn. I was just trying to learn YouTube. He came across my screen and he told me something that I did not know at the time. And he said, you can make money with YouTube. And I was just like, what? I had no idea. like I was clueless about YouTube in that regard. I didn't watch YouTube. I'm not a vet from back in 2006. And I not me. I didn't have that. So like I said, I started in 2019. So I'm a newbie, but I didn't really start until 2021. And it was August of 2021 because before that is when I found Sean. And then I just said, really, you could do this? And so for like a semester, I just went 3 months. It was 3 months from like May until that August. I just was learning everything, taking notes. I mean, and my phone. Okay. We're gonna have to turn that off, aren't we? Let me turn this off here. Oh, whoa. I got things going on here. How do I turn this thing off? Okay. Here's my stuff. All right. There we go. All right. So anyway, so I'm studying Sean's stuff and I'm really getting into Sean's stuff. And so him, and there was a couple other ones. And so I was like, hey, this is something that I think I could do. And this is something I think I would really like to do. My interest, and be willing to learn, whatever I needed to learn. So I did that. And then in August, I think it was August 12th of 2021, I officially started RPG Elite. And, my focus had always been non-fantasy, alternative genre, tabletop RPGs from day one. So if you go back and you find some of these videos from the One Ring, which is what we were playing at the time, that is because I hadn't really started the channel as you see it in its iteration today. It was for really my players. And so I don't know. I don't even know if you can find those videos on the channel. I'll need to go back and see because I don't know if I like unlisted them, and I think I probably did, or they were private, I believe. So I think they're and if I didn't make them private, I'm about to, because those were really just playbacks for my players, and that's it. That's all it was for. But I didn't know how to set things and all the rest of that. So all that to say, from day one, I've never covered fantasy. Like that wasn't covering fantasy. It was just kind of like a recaps. So they would have that, they could look at it, and then we could just get straight into the game once we had our session. So that's the one other pillar. And the last pillar would be family-friendly tabletop RPGs and board games. So I look specifically for those things. And when it comes to board games per se, I'm always looking for things that, number one, you could play solo, and also things that you can do a co-op with more than just, every man for himself, because I tie it loosely to the whole spirit of tabletop RPGs and what they're supposed to be about. So I have a game called Sentinels of the Multiverse, and that's a co-op game, right? When you join together if you're playing more than one, or a game that you can play solo. So I'm still keeping tabletop RPGs in mind when I cover these board games. And so when I look for them. So those are the 4 pillars. Now, all that to say that last pillar is what this box is. Family-friendly. I don't really think there's any tabletop RPGs in there, but so it's going to be family-friendly board games. And I don't know what's in there, because many times I will go, as I said earlier, and I will, I'll fill out a form or I'll ask for something and I will forget. I figure I'll ask for it, and if they send it, fine, or if they respond, fine. And if they don't, oh well. I got plenty of content here, so it's not like I'm hurting. It's just kind of like, yo, if your price for me to promote your product is just for you just to send me the product, I think I'm giving you a great deal, because for most people who are doing this for, more than just, I'm just doing this for fun type of deal, which, I mean, I actually want to talk about that, but I don't know if I'm going to talk about that in this video. This whole idea of fun, I'll talk about that maybe. But for those of us who do this, YouTube is a part of my business. It is not my business, but it is a part of my business. And most of them charge to do that, right? They'll just say that they're promoting it and they charge. And then some people will be like, yo, I'll do it if you just give me the product, which is me, I'll do it if you give me the product, but it's not everything. It has to pass through. I do have certain parameters and things that I have set in place. And so just because you send me a game doesn't mean that I'm going to cover it. Also, I don't cover tabletop RPGs that I have to have a physical copy in my hands. That's your skin in the game. If you have just a digital copy or something like that, I might mention it maybe on a community tab post on here or something like that. But other than that, folks, I gotta have, in order for me to take the time to actually edit and work and create a video, then you need to send me the actual product. And if you don't, then okay, I just won't promote it and we'll just go on. You go on from there. I've only had one company who said, oh, we don't send out products for, our game, free product. I'm like, okay. I don't cover their games. Not because their game's not good. I did want to cover the games, and I do think the games are decent. But unfortunately, they don't do that. And to be fair here, they are still cool with me. I mean, somebody from this company, which I'll keep them, in the background to protect the guilty. So yeah, that's how I do things. Oh, I got somebody in the chat here. If I review a product, I want to pay for it myself. It makes the review more honest. Well, that's how if you want to do it like that, that's how you can do it. I look at it like this. If I review a product, right, it's number one, it's got to pass all of my parameters in order for me to review the product. And number two, what I do is work. So my work is valuable. So it is a small thing for a publisher to put some skin in the game and actually give me the product so I can do the work. Now, for some people, their work's not valuable. That's on them. For me, my work is valuable because my time is valuable, because my time is my life. Therefore, if all I'm asking you for is a copy of the game, that is a small price, especially compared to what a lot of other people do. Okay, so my work is valuable. Everybody else can do whatever they want to do. But for me, my work is valuable. And if I ask for something, or if somebody actually wants me, then they can go ahead and they can send me the product. And then I will do it. And I normally don't do just one video. I do multiples on different platforms. And I promote it in a whole bunch of different ways. And that's a lot of work. And people get paid for work. For you not to look at this as work, that's another thing. The problem with people not looking at YouTube as work. That's a problem. That's a huge problem. They think it's some kind of, oh, well, you don't have to do this, but this is a part of my business. Everybody has YouTube for different reasons. This is a part of my business. Therefore, all I'm asking for is a copy of the game. I don't think I'm asking for something that is, unfair. Also, I'm me. And if anybody comes to this channel, they know I'm not catering to nobody just because they sent me a game. Please, you sent me a game. I'm not catering to you if you paid me. It wouldn't matter. If the thing that you think will keep you honest is you buying the game, I I have questions about your standard of honesty, because you should be honest no matter if you get the game, whether you get paid for it or not. You should just be honest, because that's the character of an individual. Period. Whether somebody gives you a game, whether they pay you for it, what difference does it make? Whether you go out and buy it, you should be honest anyway. And I'm always honest. I've been honest with people who've sent me games, and they've been a little bit perturbed because, hey, I gave you my opinion. That's what it was. I didn't tell you that I was going to give you a glowing review, or, even in an unboxing or something. That's not what I do. Right? It just goes to my character. I mean, if I'll just tell people, hey, they sent it to me, so let's go ahead, let's take a look at it. And sometimes we take a look at it and it doesn't, not so great. So I say it's not so great. And I've had run-ins with different publishers, and they're not so great. And I've been very honest about that. Honest to the point that where I lose subscribers because of it, because I'm that honest. So I don't know. Different strokes for different folks, I believe. Anyway, but today we're going to get into my fourth pillar, which is these family-friendly games, which I forgot. No idea. I don't have any idea what's in the box. I remember vaguely filling out a form. I don't remember, man. I'm so sorry, but I do have one, and it's right here. This one's from Yellow Hand, and Yellow Hand, that's my peeps over there. Independent tabletop RPG publisher. Got a great relationship with them. So I'm going to unbox this, and we're going to take a look at this and talk about some other things. Just, like I said, talk about whatever comes up. I don't know which one. I think I'm going to do, when it comes to this unboxing stuff today, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this Yellow Hand one real quick. Let's do this one first, shall we? But first, no. First, I want to touch on, I'm glad that I was looking at my stuff here. So first I want to touch on the Elite Division. Now, for those of you who don't know, the Elite Division is my YouTube membership. And I had a question in reference to that. And it was basically, I wanted people to, chime in on, if you were a member of the Elite Division. And I do have a few members over there. But if you were an Elite Division member for the cinematic interpretations, and listen, I mean, I could go through all of that. I just really highly suggest that, I don't know, I think it was the week or the week before where I did a video, not this week, not this past week. I think it was the week before. So last week, I think I did a video talking about, this. Yeah, I did. So I talked about all of the poll and everything, and going there and all of it. So you can go to my video from the week before. I'll try to put the link down in the description if you're watching this on the replay right now. I mean, you would have to go there and just kind of go down my videos. And like I said, it's last week, I believe. I forgot what the thumbnail looks like. I tell you, man, this is a lot of work. And so this, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind. Once it's done, it's done. And I'm kind of out of there. The only I try to keep just the important stuff in my mind and stuff like that. But I do know it was a week, last week, and I talked about the Elite Division and everything. So you can go and you can watch that video for that. But the poll results is what I wanted to look at from that ask of, did you want the cinematic interpretations to be kind of motion comic-y, or did you want the cinematic interpretation to be the full animation? Because I showed both of those in that video. Or did it really matter and you didn't really care? And so let's go ahead. I'm going to go back to my picture, and we will take a look at the results. And these are the results. And full animation is what people chose for and this is for my third tier of the Elite Division. And so this is for the highest tier, where they get the full animation of the cinematic interpretations for my solo RPG, Elite Chronicles. And so, man, I kind of thought that would be the case. I kind of thought, but I didn't know whether they would like what I had put together because I had to learn this stuff. Like I explained in the video, it took me like two months, over 2 months to just really learn how to do it and do it to where it was presentable. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not top notch, it's good enough to get the gist of what the cinematic interpretation is supposed to be. So full animation is what it's going to be, y'all. That means I got to spend a little bit more money, but that's okay because those people are spending money and I love doing it. I love serving them in that regard. I really do. I think it's really fun. It's really fun. And I love editing. I do love video editing. That's one thing when I started getting into this and I started doing it for real. I really like video editing. I really like learning more about video editing and the little things that I have in my mind that I want to do, and I go and I learn it. And I have learned a new skill. I know how to video edit. If anything, I can do basic video editing, right? A little bit more than, actually I could do a little bit more than that. But, I work in DaVinci Resolve. And when I first got that, it looked a little overwhelming. Didn't know what it was up, but I was like, I'm gonna learn this. And I did. And I prefer that because I did work with a couple other different types of video editing software. And I just came back to DaVinci Resolve. A little bit of a resource hog, but my main computer can handle that. So I'm good. And I've been good ever since. Really enjoyed that. So we're going to be doing animations for our cinematic interpretations for our solo RPG play for the Solo RPG Chronicles. And again, if you want to know more about what that's about, I would suggest that you go and watch that video and actually go and look at the two different styles, like the motion comic-y type of style and the full animation style. If you want to go vote, you can vote, but pretty much I think we're in the place where we have the results. And so we're here, and so that's the direction that we're going to go in. All right, so now I'm going to do, my boy Jay over at Yellow Hand, he is the one that sent this to me. It's been quite a while ago. And once we really establish a rapport, and I really like that. I like establishing a rapport with these publishers, really do. So establish a rapport with them, establish a great rapport with Free League Publishing, had a great rapport with Monty Cook Games at the time. I still do, actually, kind of, sort of. But, there's only been, like, to be honest, now I'm thinking about it, just one. Like, just one publisher. Because some publishers, I just won't cover their stuff. I just won't cover their stuff at all. There's reasons for that, just because of there's certain things on the channel that I will not promote because companies are going way beyond what they should go, in my opinion. And I don't want to go there. So I'll just let them do what they do, and I'll do what I do. But for the most part, even in those situations, we part amicably. There's been like 3 that I've had to part amicably with, and I have. And it has, one I did not part amicably with, but the other I did. The other 2 I did. They understood, and that was it, and there you go. So today, we're going to be opening up this bad boy here. And this one here, my camera, it looks like my camera is a little, there we go. Let me put this light on. There we go. And this one here is from a new publisher, like I said, that I really like. The name is Yellow Hand. And I'm going to open this bad boy up. And we're going to see what's on the inside. He always uses this tape. It's so, this tape is like real, like, it's like, I get it. You don't want it to, but this right here is sticky. So, I mean, using this tape on top of it being sticky? Jeez. All right, let's see what he sent, y'all. Let's pull her out here. See what we got. He just sent this to me. I didn't know this is what this was. So this is the note that he sent to me, y'all. I'll let you guys see it. Let me pull up the bigger screen on this because this is cool. Oops, let me put this away, give this away. So let me give you this. Okay, this is the note. This is what he says. I know you don't review fantasy RPGs, but I figured you'd want to have a complete collection. He's cool, you know, that's cool. I mean, and I don't. This is obviously, you know, traditional medieval fantasy, that type of stuff. Pretty thick too. I think it has everything in here, your basic bestiary and all the rest of this stuff, but I don't cover this stuff. But he says a complete collection because I pretty much have everything that they have. And I didn't ask for it, right? They just started. Listen, they will send it to you if you do the work. Do the work and, you know, do an unboxing, you know, do a first look, do a first impressions. But normally when if I ask for a game, it's probably, I'm doing more than a little bit for that game. Like Free League sends me stuff sometimes, and they send me stuff sometimes I didn't ask for because they know he's going to cover the game. As a matter of fact, over on Facebook, in their Facebook group, I was recognized as a top fan. And I was very appreciative of that. But I am a top fan. Don't get me wrong. I got scores of Free League publishing stuff because I really love it. Like one of their games is my second favorite game of all time, which is Vaesen. I just adore that game. And I wasn't that kind of blindsided me. You know, I wasn't looking for a favorite game. You know, you just cover a game and that's it. And man, and of course this is subjective, but for me, that's my second favorite game of all time. It just is. Which took the place of another game, which was the Cipher System. Yeah, it kicked that off. It is now Vaesen. And I have scores of games. Oh my goodness. I have so many games. I have games just like he just did with this fantasy game. They sent me their fantasy game. What's the name of that fantasy game? Saborum? They sent me that. I said, I can't, you know. And people told me, you know, just get it. And they just knew that they knew I didn't cover fantasy, but they said that I should probably grab it. And so I just said, hey, if you got some extra ones lying around, if not, it's not a big deal. But they sent it to me. So I've got that. I mean, I've got a lot of Free League publishing stuff. If I don't have it as a hardcover, I do have it as a PDF because they send it to me. They automatically send it to me. And just having a great relationship, you don't need to have a great relationship with every single publisher out there. You don't even need to have a relationship with every single publisher if you're thinking about doing this. You just need to have a handful. That's it. And then you just go ahead and you do your thing. You cover it. But now we're going to get into the good stuff. I got this box. It's not small. So let me go ahead. Okay. So here's the box. All right. You guys can't see it, so let's do a top down. Shall we? Wow, this box is big, isn't it? It's a little big, but this is the gaming box right here, or the kind of board game. Man, I'm trying to remember. I'm really trying to remember. I can't remember the exact games, y'all. I'm so sorry. But I do this all the time. If you look at any of my unboxing videos, I mean, this is just kind of normal fare. I'm going to try to center this like this. And we are going to, let's first do this side over here. Again, I have no idea what's in here. And this has been sitting on my basement floor for a while. All right. All right, there we go. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to set it down now. And let's go ahead with taking them out one by one. Now, I do know it was probably like, they had a lot of games, and there were only like 3 or 4 that fell into the category of something that I would cover. Unless they send me, sometimes these companies, because they want to promote a certain game, they will send you other games that you did not ask for. It was 4. I'm looking at it right now, and it was 4. I remember the games now. I don't remember wanting this one. Did I want this one? See, this is what I'm talking about. I think one of these games I did not ask for. But let's go ahead and go through them, y'all. So these are family-friendly board games, card games. Some of these are card games. Okay, it is 3. This one goes with the one game. It does? Did I ask for that? Again, I don't remember asking for a lot of times. I don't remember asking for this stuff. Let's go with the game that I don't think I asked for, but maybe I did. Oh yes, I did ask for this one. Oh, this one will be fun if you play this one. If you get into movies and things like that. This one's called Popcorn. Yes, I did ask for this one, so forgive me on that. I did ask for this one because I thought that this one would be a good family-friendly game. Yeah, I know something about movies. I do like movies. I do like watching a lot of video clips and things like that. And so on the back of this here, we've got, so basically what you have here is in Popcorn, you are the manager of a cinema ready to conquer the hearts of movie lovers. Will you be able to program an eclectic selection of films and invest in the comfort of your theaters to maximize attendance? By doing so, you will accumulate more popcorn than your competitors and rise to the top of the box office. And really, like, that's fun. But again, this is only going to be if you get into movies. But it's now, I don't know if I do let's do this. Because I don't know if I want to actually open this up. Because you guys know how I am. For content, we can unpackage it and really get on the inside. So, since I, kind of by myself now, I'm going to set this to the side. This is 2 to 4 players. I normally don't do that. So maybe I didn't ask for this, or maybe I did. Normally I don't do that. Normally I don't ask for games that can't be played solo, like I said, but maybe I asked for it in this case, but this is a good family game. And so I want to move this off to the side, right over here. See whether I decide to actually really open it up. Let's go to our second one. Now, this one, I remember that you can. This is 2 to 4. That's not what I remember. Did I ask for this? I just really don't remember asking for these, y'all. But anyway, these are 2 to 4 players called Little Soldiers, made by the same company here, Aiello. And in this one, it's a miniatures game, and you command a squad of plastic toys in a battle for control of the living room. So you could see this on the box here. You just kind of like take stuff. There's a cup over here. I don't know what that's, a thread. There's somebody's phone right there. That looks like I think that's supposed to be a carton of milk. Use everyday objects, okay, like a mug or a cell phone or a box or cereal to transfer your living room into an epic battlefield. So it's basically taking you back to those times when, you had an imagination and you used it quite a bit. I don't know what happens to us when we get there. It's like only certain types of imagination is acceptable for an adult, which I think that is silly. We grow, our imagination it doesn't have a maturity level. Otherwise, there would be nobody making children's toys. Or, games like this. This one here is for what it says here, it looks like it's for ages 8 and up. Okay. So you wouldn't have games for children like that, or that you could play with your children. Again, family-friendly games. But again, 2 people, and I normally don't do that, but, and I don't even, and you want to know something? I think I remember this. I remember because these people sent me something and I didn't even know who they were. I just got into my email like one day and I was like, who are they? I didn't have any idea who they were. And they sent me this link and I clicked the link and it had this thing of, all of these games. And I was like, okay, well, I'll see how many of them fall into the category. And these were the closest one, obviously. Now, there is another game that they sent me, and this is the last one. And this one is called Ancient Knowledge. Okay? Same cats, ILO. And seems like it seems like this might be something else. I'm not real sure. But anyway, another one, 2 to 4, ages 12 plus. Now, in this one, let's go ahead and take a look at the back of this. So in this one, heirs to an exceptional knowledge that has survived the ages, it's now up to you to preserve the vestiges of your civilization. Ancient Knowledge is a strategic card game in which you erect monuments and build artifacts to pass on your knowledge. Well, that's kind of cool. Time will make your construction ephemeral. So make the right decisions and combine the many cards at your disposal because all knowledge is doomed to disappear. That's kind of cool. I like that. That's another good family. Okay, I did pick some good ones. It's just that normally I like to pick co-op games. But they also, I'm pretty sure I didn't ask for this. They just sent it, okay? But they sent me an expansion. Ancient Knowledge Heritage. So this one here, so I guess you have expansion boxes. And it says here you've got 36 more builder cards, 12 technology cards. Okay. It does say solo mode campaign. See, I knew it. I knew it. So there's probably a solo mode for those other ones too, because I knew it, right? I was like, I don't do that. I just don't do that. All right. So yes, there is a solo mode for this game. And so this is definitely a game that I am going to be I'll do a live stream and just play the game. So you have other people who play like, video games and you watch them play the video game or whatever. But over here on RPG Elite, we're going to be playing solo games like this, and co-ops and stuff like that. My first one is going to be Sentinels of the Multiverse because that game is just phenomenal. Absolutely love that game. I've played it several times. But we are going to play Ancient. I've got some other games over there. There's plenty of other games. So when it comes to content and stuff like that, I've got plenty of them. And I like to keep that camaraderie kind of teamwork aspect from tabletop RPGs. I like to keep that, right? But if, in order to showcase the game, then you have to be able to play it solo for you guys. And so that's why I pick games that you can play solo and co-op. So I like those types of games. There's plenty of them out there, and I have to be very picky. So you will see, I'll do Ancient Knowledge. I don't know when. This could be a minute, y'all. But I'll do Ancient Knowledge, and I can't imagine like something like Popcorn or the other game. Was it Toy Soldiers is what it's called? Little Soldiers, okay. I can't imagine those actually being not soloable. And it could be that the website said one thing and then now the game says another. But just like this one here says, you got solo mode with ancient knowledge, and that's the one that I am going to do solo. So, and like I said, I got Far Cry over there. This is stuff that I haven't even touched on, and I've had it for far too long, and I really need to do those first. So it'll be a while because, like I said, I've got others that I need to do first. So there is our family game. I'm going to put this over here. Yeah, I'm still frozen. Oh, goodness. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Something here. Okay, let me go and try to fix this here. I know you guys could probably still hear me, but looks like there's an issue. So let's see what the issue is. Oh, that was weird. That was weird. Okay, well, we got that fixed, so I know what to do next time. But anyway, so yeah, I've got more than a few games. Obviously, we're not going to do the fantasy game because it's a fantasy game, so we're not going to do that one. But I can see us in the future doing some other things, and I really wanted to expand and go into different directions and really try to hit that pillar because I haven't really hit that pillar like I've hit like the RPG Elite philosophy and the alternative genre non-fantasy tabletop RPGs, and I haven't hit those. I haven't hit that particular pillar uh, in a way to where it's kind of balanced with the rest of them. I mean, this one I've really dropped the ball on. So I'm really going to start to do more family-friendly tabletop RPGs. Now, I could say that there are some tabletop RPGs that I have done that are only in PDF, you know, and they really are more family friendly, things you can play with your kids type of stuff. A lot of the stuff that I already cover, you could play with your kids. Some of it you couldn't. I don't know about Vassin, y'all. I don't think you could. I don't think I would do that. But you could play like Marvel. You could play that, or DC Heroes, or what's some other games you could play? You play Outgunned. Um, so some of these games that you still could play with your family, with your younguns, if you have them, whether they be children, grandchildren. Um, I'd like to play with my children who are grown and my grandchildren just to get them on this because you have to understand, out of everybody in my family, I'm the geek. I'm the guy that does this stuff. You know, I remember when Lord of the Rings came out in early 2000s. I didn't really know anything. I hadn't read the books or anything like that. So I went to the movies, and gosh, it was like super packed. It's lined up, and I'm just like, why is this? I didn't expect that. I did not expect that. And I was like, wow. I walked inside of the theater and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to get in this long line, but I had to go by myself. Nobody from my family wanted to go. They weren't interested. I don't get into that stuff, yada, yada, yada. So I was like, okay. So I just went by myself, man. And I remember sitting in the movie and watching Fellowship of the Ring, and just I was my attention. They had my attention the entire time. And then I realized, I mean, I looked at my clock after I got out of there because, you know, you walk out of the movie theater and it's kind of like glare, because you've been in this dark theater for so long. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, wow, that is the longest setup I have ever seen for a movie in my life. It's a 3-hour setup for everything that's going down. So, but I don't know if I went to see the other two in the theater. I don't think I did. Or maybe I did. Man, I can't remember, y'all. I think I did. I did go see the other two in the theaters. I think I still had to go by myself because nobody wanted to go with me. I think I did. I want to say I did. But for me, that is kind of like the greatest movie trilogy of all time in film history. And I don't think we're going to get another one like that in the current culture that we're in. I don't think we're going to get that. I think that time was the peak and it has passed. You know, it's kind of like the old saying, this too shall pass. Well, this too shall pass and it's not coming back. And that's a travesty because this too shall pass is supposed to be an encouragement. And in this case, it is a warning of doom. And that's sad. Sad that we don't get that. But, you know, it is what it is. So a reason why I bring up movies is because I had this idea years ago. I thought it would be an interesting idea. So you can let me know down in the comments of this live stream. But I thought it would be interesting if I actually watched a movie, right? And then used a game, a tabletop RPG specifically, and tell you what would happen in the game, right? Like what particularly happened in this scene when they did that in the game. So it's really, I mean, again, it's cinematic interpretation through the lens of a game. Like if I, we watch a clip or a scene from John Wick. And then I would be like, okay, on this part, this is what happened and obviously the game that I would use for that one is Outgunned. This is what happened for that in this area. And then we fast forward it and it'd be like, okay, this is what happened in the game mechanics. So looking at the cinematic and then, going backwards on this, right? In the cinematic interpretation for the Elite Division solo RPG Chronicles, it's reversed. We see the mechanics and then we get a cinematic interpretation of playing it, okay? Because we're playing solo and we don't know what's going on. So we can't interpret what's not there. We can only interpret it after we get done playing. However, and with my idea that I had, it was to go, okay, let me go ahead and let me watch a cinematic and let me then take a particular game because there are different games that can interpret that. Jeez, you can have Everyday Heroes interpret that. You can have Outgunned interpret that. I'm talking about John Wick. Excuse me. You can have several different types of games interpret that. So I would interpret an appropriate genre game and use a cinematic, and then we would use the cinematic and then we would interpret it through the game. So just reversing things. I thought that would be an interesting idea to do it like that. So like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments below if you want to see something like that. I think I enjoy that. I think I would enjoy something like that. That's a kind of a unique idea in doing that. So I might do that. All right. So yeah, so we've got a couple things here. And as far as things that are happening on the channel, the cinematic interpretations, we've got that poll finally. Since the poll has been finalized, now I can actually go over and we can continue with the second season of Solo RPG Chronicles, which is Crosshairs and Conspiracies. We can now continue that over on Substack because that's what I was waiting for. And so now what I will do is I will do some gameplay videos, because that's basically what Solo RPG Chronicles is. I play outgunned solo live. You guys see all the stuff and everything. That's only if you're part of the Leet division, by the way. But they see all the mechanics, all the game, explaining everything, and then you get that cinematic interpretation I was talking about, full animation about what has just transpired in the game. You get to see how that works out with the characters and everything. So it's involved, yes, but as I said, I enjoy it. People are paying for it, and so I don't mind. I don't mind at all. I think it's like I said, it's extremely fun for me because I like video editing and learning new things and learning new skills and stuff like that. I really like that stuff. So that will resume now, because it was on hold. It's been on hiatus for a little while. I think the week or a week before, I had written a post over on Substack, and I hadn't written a post in like months, because I'm sitting up here learning how to do this animation, this AI animation thing. I didn't have any idea. And it is involved, y'all. Don't let, it is involved. And people think like, oh, it's just easy. You push a button. No, it's not. That's not how it goes. It is not how it goes. I mean, there's a lot of work involved. Even if you're a solo cat like myself, you going over and doing that, trust me, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get. It takes a lot of work and attention to detail. And that's the key. The key is attention to detail, knowing how to communicate with whatever AI that you communicate with. Because if you're doing it on one of these other platforms and something, they take things differently. They interpret things, differently. So I don't know, y'all. This whole the whole AI thing is just out of control in my eyes. The AI fear mongering, I should say, is out of control. The fear mongering just needs to go someplace. All right. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you don't like it, then don't watch people who use it. But if you don't like it, then you should probably, get rid of your phone, because it's all over that. And it's been all over that for a very long time. If you don't like watching anything from Pixar or stuff like that, get rid of it and stop watching that, because they've been using AI for quite a long time too, for their tools. The AI is built into their tools. It has been for quite a while. A lot of tools have had this, right? So I'm just kind of done with the AI fear mongering and the people who like to do AI shaming. Okay, I'm done with that. So that's why I'm going to do what I'm going to do here on this channel. And there's people who they don't care, and just like me, I don't care. And the people who are AI fearmongers and AI shamers, okay, they're not my audience, because we're going to continue to have some fun, do some things with the Solo RPG Elite Chronicles. We're going to do not only for that, because I'm doing it for Outgunned, which is the new season, but I'm also going to do it for the solo sessions that I had for Vaesen, because for Vaesen, I was doing kind of like that motion comic-y thing, but now I'm probably going to go ahead and switch over to that animation, because I switched all of those over to the Elite Division, all of those long form videos. So yeah, man, I got some things that are playing out. It's exciting. Now that that poll is done, I know what direction that people want me to go in. I'm serving you guys. And so now it's time for me to do my thing. And so that is exactly what I'm going to do, and do my thing for you over in the Elite Division. Now, if you want to join the Elite Division, I have 3 tiers. You can go over there, check the tiers out. $2.99, $5.99, $9.99 is top tier. And I'm about to get busy with a whole lot of stuff. Oh, and another thing, which I just announced, that is coming back. So I kind of mentioned this earlier, I believe. With the classic tabletop RPGs, right? I used to do deep dives where I would just break it down, man, have videos of just different sections of a game and break down the mechanics and all that, just breaking it down. But I stopped doing that because of the whole invalid traffic on YouTube. And this was the video I just got done doing earlier this week. So this is my latest video before this live stream. So I decided, I ain't doing any videos longer than 20 minutes. But and those were longer than 20 minutes, some of them almost up to a half an hour. However, I just, there were some people, a couple people would be like, man, I wish you'd bring that back. And I'm like, yeah, well, I can't do it because it's if I'm going to do it, I need to do it right. We need to get down to the, if we're going to deep dive and get granular with stuff, that's going to take time, and it's going to take longer than 20 minutes for the most part. And we cover, wide swathes of a book and go, just go all in. So I decided that what I was going to do was going to add that. I haven't added it yet, but I'm going to add that as a perk for all tiers of the Elite Division. So the classic tabletop RPG deep dives are coming back. And I think I'm just going to, I'm going to pick up where I left off with Dark Conspiracy, because I need to finish that one. Because I did one for Gamma World, I did one for Top Secret, did one for Traveler, and I partly did one for Dark Conspiracy, and I stopped doing that, and that's when I made the decision and made a video, kind of announced it that I wasn't doing that anymore. But then I've decided that if I'm going to put it behind the Elite Division paywall, and in that case, I'm going to continue where I left off. So you can go ahead on the public channel, you can watch all of those for free. But from now on, because I wanted to go back to those classic games, because when I stopped doing that, I was like, okay, how am I going to have classic games a part of the RPG Elite? Because that is a pillar. It needs to be part of it. So I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, I think this is the best way to do it. So I'm going to finish Dark Conspiracy, and I don't know what I'm going to do after Dark Conspiracy. There's a lot of great classic games out there. I might put it up for a poll or something like that for my members. So yeah, if you want to join the Elite Division, the link is down in the description. And if you just want to kind of support the channel, support the work that I do on the channel, then yeah, go ahead. Good policy. Yeah, everybody's got their thing, it's when it comes to reviewing products, everybody got their thing and how they review products. I don't review products like that. I don't really actually do reviews. That might be another thing, because I think I've done one review on this channel. I do unboxings, we do overviews, we'll go through the mechanics of things and all the rest of that stuff. And like I said, my work is valuable, and so is my time. Therefore, if I ask for a game and you don't want to send it, okay, then don't. But I'm not doing that game, because my time is valuable. I have a business to run, and if I'm going to do something, then I at least need that from you. And if you're not going to do that, then okay, I'm not going to go out of my way to do something for you, which is to promote your game. I'm not going to do that. And even though, again, I might not promote the game in the way you want me to, because it's better if I ask for the game. If I ask for the game, is a good chance, this has not always happened, but there's a good chance that I'm going to say some things about it because I thought it was cool, because I've done my due diligence. Or I have a PDF copy of the game, and I'm like, yeah, I want to cover this game. But I don't, like I said, I don't cover digital copies of games. I just don't. Everybody's got their own thing and how they do things on their channel. I am where I'm at because of the way I do things. So my hope is that there'll be more people who, when they want to see something, they know that I'm going to be honest no matter what, and I don't have to try to virtue signal to be honest. I'm not virtue signaling to be honest. I'm just honest, period. No matter how I get a game, I don't care what it makes it seem like to other people. Everybody who knows me on my channel knows that I'm going to say what I'm going to say no matter what. And so, if if you want to, however you do things on your channel is however you do things on your channel. But I don't do that here. So, okay. I think I'm going to get out of here now. I think we're about done. I think this is the shortest live stream that I've done in quite a long time. But I don't have anything else. And I've got some work to do as far as now. The number one thing I need to do is I'm going to do an outgunned play session finally. After like I said, after I figured out what people wanted, I was like, okay, finally I have to do this way. So, I'm going to probably do a solo session in Outgunned or Vassin. Oh man, I haven't done Vassin in a minute, man. Oh, that is really calling my name. That is really calling my name, but I probably need to do Outgunned first. I really do. Because the Vassin one is not over on Substack. Vassin is strictly here on YouTube and strictly in the Elite Division. So I could probably hold off on that one. But I got people waiting for stuff over on Substack and stuff like that. So I probably will go ahead and do record the Outgun thing today. But yeah, like I said, normally we get about a 2-hour live stream, but I kind of figured today would probably be shorter. The weather is starting to break. People are not home as much. I only do live streams like once a month. So, yeah. And I could tell you something. I think a lot of people, they come to my channel. They might see me do an unboxing or something like that or whatever. But what always happens is that they don't do their due diligence. It's fine as finding out who I am. And then I say something that hurts their feelings. And then all of a sudden they unsubscribe. Okay. So I really highly encourage you to do your due diligence on me, so you don't get offended. Because what I say to people who get offended by what I say is be offended, because that's not going to change me. What do I like so much about Vassin? Oh man, oh goodness. Where do I start? Okay. I will say this, as far as the system goes. The system is meh. It's meh. It's what they call the Mutant Year Zero system, or the Year Zero engine. I think it's what it's called. It's a dice pool system. It's meh. It's not bad. You roll a pool of dice, and if you get a 6, then you succeeded. That's basically it, right? Sometimes you might need more than 6, or more than 2 successes, but normally you just need 1. It's a simple system that just works with something like Vassin. Now with Vassin, it's the supernatural folklore part of it and how they have approached it that drew me in. And I also I'm thinking about it, and it's weird when you think about a game and you get geeked thinking about the game because you like the game so much. One of the things that I really like about the game is the fact that you have all these different archetypes, and you can go and you can watch. I've done plenty of videos on Vassin on the channel, but you get these archetypes, and one archetype that they have is a priest. Okay. But we're talking like 18th century stuff here. Okay. 18th century, 19th century stuff, early 19th century. That's the time period that it's set in. And one of the items of power, I'm sorry. It just makes me smile. Just thinking about it makes me smile. But one of the items of power, these are really powerful items, is a Bible. And I was floored, because I know what this industry is, and I know the kind of people who are in this industry. And for them to actually do that was, it stunned me, to be honest, because this is where I live. And anybody who knows me, who comes to the channel, knows what I'm about. That's why I say, do your due diligence about who I am as a person, because more than likely, I'm probably going to say something that offends, you know, and then, you know, you get people and they complain and they'll cry and moan about something that I said and blah, 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 because of the schism that is in the space, or because I'm not monolithic and I'm not, you know, I'm not a sheep that just follows everybody. I do my thing, and I do my thing in my way. Now, going back to Vaesen. Vaesen is one of those games that actually gets a lot of things correct in terms of folklore, which another thing that I was floored by. Like black dogs and all the rest of this stuff. And I was reading, and I was like, oh my gosh, they have black dogs in here? I was just like, I was floored because I have this game called not this game, but this book. Normally right over here, but I can't see it because my DC Heroes box is probably blocking it. But it's a book of the unexplained, and it's basically like all of the folklore from all over the world. And black dogs are in there. That was one. Black dogs are in Vaesen, and they got it right. Hags, how they did this game is it was accurate, or is accurate, in connection to the folklore. Now, in the original core book, that's Nordic folklore. But you also have the British and Irish expansion, which is normally what I play in. I usually play in the British and Irish expansion. And in every expansion, they have more of the folklore. There's one that you can go and download. You can download it, and it's Ukrainian folklore. And a lot of this stuff is similar, right? Even the term Vaesen, if you've ever seen the television show Grimm, that's them. That's what that is. Vaesen is how the Swedish say it. Freely Publishing is a Swedish company. Vaesen is how the Germans say it. And the reason why I know that is because my wife is German. And it didn't dawn on me that that was what was going on until I was actually watching, and I wasn't actually I think I was watching like a clip of Grimm, because I saw like the first couple of seasons of Grimm, and this is it might have been at the same time or before. I think it was at the same time that, you know, I was really getting to know the game Vaesen. It didn't dawn on me that that is the German way of saying the same thing. And so if you see Grimm, you can understand. Grimm is kind of out there though, obviously, but the idea of in Grimm of having the sight, like Grimm can see this stuff. You in Vaesen have the sight. That's what it's called in actually in Vaesen. It wasn't called that in Grimm. Grimm had it because of lineage, but you have it because you have been endowed with the sight. And there's a whole bunch of different archetypes that you can have. This is so cool. But anyway, and you see these Vaesen, because Vaesen, think of Vaesen as those things that are, you know, in the corner of your eye that you see that other people don't, right? Like this, or other people see from the corner of their eye, but you see it point blank. You know, you think you see something, you turn and it's not there. Okay, that's kind of what Vaesen are, except with you having the sight, when you turn, it is there. You actually see the Vaesen. That's why people think that they are not real. When they are real, you just need to be imbued with this certain ability. They don't tell you how you got the ability or anything like that. They just say that you have it, and you can, you know, there's a whole bunch of different, like I said, archetypes and roles that you can have, and they expand on it in the expansions, and I have everything for that game, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And normally I don't like, you know, the horror stuff or whatever. They say Nordic horror, but I really think this falls more in line with supernatural. it is horrific too. So there is that horrific element to it, but I wouldn't call it just straight horror. I think it's supernatural. And I think that is normally when it comes to games like that, or even movies and stuff, they don't even get anywhere near right. And when it comes to supernatural, but then when it came to this, the folklore, and they're doing their due diligence on that and bringing it into the game and having these different like items, it's just something about this game. All of that stuff combined together just drew me in. It just really did, right? But again, this is subjective mainly because of where, this is where I live. So, and if you don't know what this is, then you probably should just go and look it up. But so since that's where I live, when there was a game that even was close to it, again, this is folklore, right? But that was close to it in terms of the supernatural aspects and everything. I just was, I was floored, right? Always been interested in stuff like that. Favorite television show of all time is The Twilight Zone. Right after that one, running close on its heels, is Fringe. After that, you can add, like the X-Files and stuff. So you see the trend. And so that kind of stuff that they got, it just floors me. And every time I go back to it and I'm reading stuff and whatever, there's stuff that I didn't see, right? There's another item of power. I would go and get the game right now. Well, you have to tell me if you want me to go get the game, but I'll just sit here. But anyway, and again, the system, good. The core system, the core mechanic system, the Year Zero engine. It's always been meh to me. It's not horrible. It's just not, what I would call great, I would call something like Cypher's system a great system. But the Year Zero engine, it's good enough. And the plus to the Year Zero engine is that it just doesn't get in the way of the story. And that is what RPG Elite is about. It's big on the story, right? RPG Elite's focus on the story, not the system. When the system gets in the way of a story, I'm not going to play that game. And there are systems that get in the way of the story. 5e gets in the way of the story. Just does. So I just don't play anything with 5e. And trust me, I've tried it, and it just gets in the way of the story. Where the Year Zero engine really doesn't. It's so simple, it just doesn't get in the way of the story. It flows with it. It complements it. And with a game like Vaesen, man, it fits like a glove. So I hope I explained myself at least a little bit in some of the things that I really like about that game. I really like the supernatural aspect and all these different expansions that they have for it now. There's no game out there. There's no game out there where I wanted everything except for Vaesen lately. Now, it's not that I don't have, like the thing that I have like everything for is classic Marvel superheroes with Phase Rip. I have everything for that. Everything. Some of it is a little beat up because I played that game to death, but I have a milk crate of just nothing but classic Marvel superheroes. Now, apparently, I guess I also have everything that came with the new Marvel, Marvel Multiverse RPG. I don't even think it's Marvel Superheroes. I think it's Marvel Multiverse. I have everything for that too. Done an unboxing for that, done a live stream for that also. Nowhere near it. They did steal a little bit. They stole a little bit from the classic one, but the system's nowhere near like the classic type. And that's a system. The Phase Risk system from classic Marvel which is my favorite tabletop RPG of all time. So if you want to know what is on top of Vaesen, it is classic Marvel. That system is amazing. It is perfect. It is a perfect superhero system. Some people even think that it's just a perfect system and have used it for other games. But I think it is a perfect superhero system. And trust me on this, I have played and own a lot of superhero tabletop RPGs. So if you ask me, I probably own it. It's just that I'm very particular about the superhero games that I cover on the channel because number one, there's scores of them. And I can't cover all of them. And when I make a video, like I said, it's work. And I have a specific level of quality that I like to keep. So I just, I have to be very particular. Sentinel Comics RPG, that system is, I don't know if I'm not quite understanding it, but if I do understand it correctly, it is weird. It's kind of weird. And I'm probably going to play that solo first without doing any content to make sure that I understand it. So it's a unique system. I got to give you that. And no system like that I've ever seen in any tabletop RPG. There's some cool things about it, but there's some things that just don't make any sense. And I don't think it does the superhero genre justice. I've played a lot of, I've been playing DC Heroes Classic. Now I have every DC Heroes tabletop RPG that's come out, barring the Mutants and Masterminds DC Adventures stuff, even though I do have that as a PDF, but I don't really count it. The stuff that I have in hardcover form. So I have first, second, I take that back. I don't have third. I have fourth. I believe it's the fourth edition of it, which is the D20 system. I'll have to correct myself later in a video or something if that's not the case. But I think there was 4 different ones before the whole DC Adventures, Mutant and Masterminds things came out. I'm not a fan of Mutant and Masterminds, by the way. So I have checked that. I checked that out first time it came out. Checked it out in depth. I check out all superhero games because that's my favorite genre in depth, and I have them in some way, shape, or form. So I either have a PDF of them or I have a hard copy of the game. Like I have a hard copy of Ascendant. If you're not familiar, I have a hard copy of that. That is really crunchy. It reminds me of Champions, which I can't do Champions. It's just, that's a system that gets in the way of the game, right? Or GURPS or any of that stuff. It's just like, dude, I just want to get to the story. You're just bogging me down with this stuff. Let me get to the story. This stuff is getting in the way of the story. So there's quite a few. DC Heroes is not a bad system. It doesn't really get in the way of the story. It doesn't. Once you get a flow going, and I've been playing it. This is what I started for the first season of Solo RPG Chronicles over on Substack. That was what I started with, a DC Heroes first edition campaign. And I asked people over there whether they wanted me to continue or whether they wanted a new game. They wanted me to do a new game, so I went over to Outdone. But in my own time, I've been playing DC Heroes first edition, still that same campaign. And now that I've gotten used to it, it doesn't get in the way of the story. It really doesn't. And it's a different system. Not quite. I don't know. I think it fits well for a DC Heroes type of thing. I think it fits well for that kind of universe. It's not bad. Not a bad system. Like I say, it doesn't get in the way of the story, which is why I continue to play it. Now I have Everyday Heroes, which is based on 5e, and I will not play that. I mean, I've tried. I actually have a video on the channel. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this thing is just getting in the way of the story. So I just had to cut stuff out in order to just get to the story. And so that's why I don't play anything that's 5e. I just don't. It'll just get in the way of the story. I rather would have, learn a proprietary system. See if it gets in the way of the story. Because again, this is RPG Elite quality number 8. RPG Elites do not focus on the system, they focus on the story. It's about the story. And the system has to go in line with it, not get in the way of it. And so that's the Year Zero engine is that very simple, doesn't get in the way of the story that's being developed. So it's great for that. As a system overall, yeah, like I said, it's meh. It's not bad. It's not horrible. So the game itself is something that would have to draw me in. And they've got a lot of games that work on that engine. Mutant Year Zero, which I'm playing a campaign of that right now. That works on that system. Tales from the Loop, that works on that system. What's another one that works on that system? Now actually, they came out with Blade Runner, and that does not work on that system. They changed the system, and I like that system. That system is cool, and it still doesn't get in the way of the story. That should have been their Year Zero engine system. I think it would have done much better, but the Blade Runner system and how that game is run it's better. It's just better. And what's another game that works on the Year Zero engine from Free League that I'm trying to think of? Well, Twilight 2000 does not, the new one, the 4th edition, that has its own. Or does it? I'm not sure. I have to look at that again. Maybe it does. I'm not sure. What are some other games from Free League that I have that I'm trying to think of right now? Coriolis. That works on, so a lot of their games work on that Year Zero engine. And like I said, it's not a bad system. And it just happens to just help the story along. It's more story friendly than some systems. Some systems are just too crunchy. They just get in the way, bogs down the game. And that's not, from an RPG Elite perspective, that's not going to work. All right. It's supposed to complement the story. So a system complements the story that's being developed as you guys play. And when that happens, then you got this great synergy that just moves along and it flows really well. And for RPG Elites, that's what we look for. And Vaesen is just one of those games that just has the mechanics of it, just really is. That's another thing. In terms of games themselves, I don't think I've ever mentioned this, but in terms of games themselves, there are some games where even the mechanics themselves will get in the way of the story because the mechanics will bog things down. Right? Instead of keeping things, and I understand what some of these designers are doing, and I really applaud them actually getting down, putting together the game and doing the work and all the rest of this. But some games just go way overboard and kind of doing their mechanics, get too granular or something like that. Now I have Fragged Empire, and I forgot the dude's name because it's been so long since what's that dude's name? What's the guy's name from Fragged Empire? Somebody let me know. But he's from Australia. He's a good guy. But I've looked at his game. I've looked at the inside of his game, and I've kind of looked at it and have been like, whoa, dude. I'm like, yikes, what's going on? Sometimes you can get granular, and there's nothing, I don't think there's anything wrong with getting granular. But I think that too much of that will kill a session, and it definitely will kill a story. And that's not what I'm interested in. That's not what RPG Elites are interested in. They might have some cool mechanics or things like that. Now, sometimes there are some instances where they keep it too simple, right? It's like too simple, and it's like, okay, this stuff you actually do need in the game. You actually need a mechanic for this in the game. That's why when I was playing the One Ring, I had to make a 30-page addendum because there was just stuff in there. I was like, okay, bro, you actually do need this stuff in the game. It was just way too abstract on a lot of stuff. So we added some things that just made it flow a little bit smoother. Now we're not, I think I'm going to pick up the One Ring later on this year, God willing, but we're playing Mutant Year Zero right now. And I'm having a ball just kind of putting stuff together for it. Real fun. But that, again, that works on the Year Zero engine. And kind of wanted to do that stuff too, because I wanted to do some Mutant Year Zero stuff, because I do have some stuff for it. And just wanted to get people really exposed to that game, since it was really popular. It's got its own video game and all the rest of that stuff. And I kind of wanted to go into the post-apocalyptic genre because it's been a while, man. The last time I did it was the deep dive with Gamma World. And I love that. I love that setting. And I have quite a few post-apocalyptic games. You might even say that Numenera is kind of a post-apocalyptic game. If you understand the lore, that's a cool game. Cypher System is a great system. I'm just keeping it a Benjamin right here. It's a good system, great system. It's better than the Year Zero engine. I think that's kind of one of those good systems that found the sweet spot. You know what I mean? Just like I thought that Phase Rip was the perfect system for superheroes. Now I'm just saying for superheroes, and I don't know how it would work with other. I think it would work just fine probably with other systems, with other games. But it's perfect for superheroes. Just absolutely and like I told you, I have a lot of superhero role-playing games. That one it's the best. It is the best. All right, so I know I went a little long on that one, but yeah, Vast. I'll have to. I might do another Vaesen video in terms of mechanics, and or lore or content or something like that, because I've been thinking about. I think I did a how to play Vaesen. Maybe I didn't. And if I did, then I might make another one, because like I said, it's one of my favorite games. It's my second favorite game. And I had a lot of games, y'all. And just to mention this, just going through favorite games, check out City of Mist if you haven't already. If you're leaning towards RPG Elite style of story, oh man, that might be the game for that. I've been playing a game. I've been playing a campaign with with two of my fellas, and man, we have been having a blast with that game. And I'm not the GM, so we're playing it's a co-op RPG together. We're all playing, and we're using the Mythic Game Master emulator to play it co-oply. And co-oply, did I just make up a new word? Anyway, so we play, it's the three of us, and we play co-op like that. It's been fun, man. Very fun. It's very, very story driven. It's a very story driven tabletop RPG. So if you don't like that, right? Everybody has a different thing. This is RPG Elite. So I talk about RPG Elites. This is what this channel is for. I am not here for everybody. I'm here for a specific type of player, and a specific type of person who leans towards that, even if they're not into tabletop RPGs yet, but that's what they think about. Then I'm for those people. That's me. And there are games that are more conducive because of how they've been created to that RPG Elite quality number 8, which is one of the top 3 of the 10 that are out there. So, and City of Mist is one of them, but it is a totally different, it's a totally different monster, y'all. So you better, if you're going in and you like story-driven, narrative type stuff, then be ready to change how you think about tabletop RPGs a little bit. But if you, maybe you like, some people like that crunchiness. Obviously, there's people who like that crunchy stuff. They like that GURP stuff. They like that riff stuff. They like that champion stuff. They like that. All right. Do your thing, man. Whatever floats your boat. I ain't mad at them. I'm not saying that they have to be, I'm not mad at them. I'm just saying that on this channel, this is what we cover, how we cover it, and why we cover it. So, I had somebody ask me when I do a deep dive for my next one, would I please do champions? It's probably a no. Well, I'm keeping it a Benjamin. It's probably a no because of there are better, in my opinion, that fits within the brand. So that is the RPG Elite brand. That's another thing too, just to kind of put it out there. I do things that line up with the brand. This is not a democracy here. I do things that line up with the brand of what we're doing. So if what you suggest lines up with the brand and what the brand stands for, then yes. But if it doesn't line up with the brand and what the brand stands for, I appreciate you commenting and I appreciate you being involved, but we probably won't go in that direction. And I like to be honest and transparent, and I'm going to keep it a Benjamin. He asked that. That's probably not going to happen. Number one, because there's far too many more games that fit the bill for the RPG Elite brand. And so I got to go in that direction first. I might mention champions, but I won't. That that just won't make it here on the channel. And I have champions, by the way. I have the game, which is why I know. But there's just a lot. There's just a lot more other games that will literally, listen, I could get no games for the rest of the year, and I still would have plenty of content for years to come. That's how much I got, sitting around here. So I've been blessed in that regard. And so I can do those things. There's a lot of things that you can do. And to really cover a game, you can cover a game in depth. You can cover different aspects of a game. And I have a lot of games, y'all. I have a lot of games. And another thing too is that my local gaming shop has told me that I can just sign out a game and bring it here if I'm interested in it. So I don't need them to do it. I just have that access. And they were the ones that suggested that I go over there because they do board games too. They got like a ton. Is the shop that is huge. And they've got like a whole lot of games, and they've have all these games that they've opened up or whatever, but they just put them back there and they never do anything with them, right? And a lot of those games are games that are those co-op solo games I was talking about. I covered one of those games. It was a sci-fi game on the channel. Forgot what the name of the game is right now. But there were some people that said they want to see me play that game solo. So I was like, okay. So as far as content goes and keeping it on brand, it's quite a bit. So I do listen and I do hear you, but it doesn't mean that I'm always going to be able to fulfill your desires. And like I said, when I go back to the deep dives, it's going to be to finish Dark Conspiracy. And then I don't know what I'm doing after that because I like to change up genres. So we've already done Post-Apocalypse. That was the first one with Gamma World. And then we did a little bit of SUPERSPY action. That's the top secret one. And then we went to straight sci-fi, baby, with Classic Traveler. And then we kind of went with a kind of supernatural tech bent with Dark Conspiracy. And so the next one, I'm not real sure what I'm going to do, but it looks like superheroes, doesn't it? And if I do a deep dive, I can tell you right now, it's probably going to be either DC Heroes or I I am so reticent to do classic Marvel. Let me tell you why. Oh, yes. Oh, Villains and Vigilantes. Yes, I have that. That's another one. Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. Oh man, there's so many of them. Some of them are pretty good. I've got some new ones. It's called. I got this one that I'm looking at. What's that one? Oh man, there's so many of them. It's not Paragon. Is it Prowlers and Paragons or Paragons and Prowlers or something? I always get it mixed up as far as the. There's that one, but that's not the one I'm talking about, man. There's another one. I have too many games. Man, I can't think of it right now. Superhero game, but that looks like it might have the genre. It's got its own system. It might have the genre down pat. Super fun and stuff, but you can make it serious or whatever. But yeah, there's villains and vigilantes. Good grief. Villains and vigilantes. DC Heroes, baby. I like DC Heroes. I got a lot of stuff for that game. And back in the day, I got the game. And you know how did back in the day, right? Buy a game. Nobody wants to play, right? But now, okay, well, you can play solo. And I'm like, hey, well, let me do this. And so I wanted to experiment with the game that I really didn't get a chance to play. Like the furthest I ever got to play. No, I can't say that. I can't say it was only character creation because I think we did a little bit. I always went to the first module, which I have for that to try to play, but we never finished it. Ever. Never. Just never did. I got all these modules and all the rest of this stuff. And I was like, you want to know something? I'm just gonna play that one. I'm just gonna play by myself. Started the solo RPG Chronicles, started playing DC Heroes, made up my character, was really cool with them. And it was just as an experiment to test out Substack because I really wanted to know what I could do with it. And then I finished that and I'm like, man, I like this character. Everybody voted for something else. Like I said earlier, they voted for Outgunned to be the next game. So I was like, okay, I won't do these DC Heroes anymore, but I'm playing DC Heroes solo still, same character. I'm talking classic though. I have the D20. I have the D20 DC Universe. Yeah, that's what it's called. And actually, check this out. One of my viewers sent that to me and wanted me to have it, which I thought was dope. I love you guys. I mean, my audience is so cool. Just they really are. And I love you. That's why I love serving you. That's why I love doing this stuff. I really do. Ooh. Oh my. Bro. I guess we're going to have to agree to disagree. I don't like mutants and masterminds at all. I played that when it first came out. Looked at it in depth, and I was like, just wasn't it for me, bro. But yeah, whatever floats your boat, my man. Whatever floats your boat. But DC Heroes, I'm talking classic, y'all. So I'm not talking about this DC Adventures and all that. I'm talking classic. From DC Universe backwards. Right? I love that game. As a matter of fact, there's so much love for DC Heroes that they re-released it as a box edition on Kickstarter. So you can now buy the original, kind of, sorta, not the original printing, but the original game. Yeah, they did a Kickstarter for it. That box set, that original box set, they did a Kickstarter for it. I have that. Oh no, do I have the one that? Oh, okay, that's the one I don't have. That's the only DC Heroes game that I don't have, is the one with the modified D6 system. That's the one that came in between the DC Hero. That is third edition, because what came after that was DC Universe, and that's got a D20 system. And then before that, you had the chart, right? It was a 2D10 system. You add the 2D10s together. So it was that. And that's fun. I think that's a fun system. I think it fits, again, I think it fits DC Heroes really well. The system understands that universe, so it fits it really well. Just like I think that Phase Rip with Classic Marvel was astounding, and they really understood the Marvel universe. So for those two, like DC Heroes and you want to know something? I thought it was going to be a shorter. I thought this was going to be a shorter live stream, because I was ready to go at about 1. But I tell you what, let me do this real quick. If you hang in there, I'm going to show you the stuff that I have for DC Heroes. This is stuff that I've had and I've held on to from way back in the day. I have some stuff in PDF. But let me just go and I'll show you. I'll show you the ones that I have. And like I said, there's been, I think 6 iterations for DC Heroes. I'm just going to show you the ones that I have, and so you guys can get an idea of the different iterations and what was different about them and all the rest of that stuff. Since we're doing this, column shifts, baby, and knockback. Come on, son. Shoot. Okay, let me do this, man. But hey, listen now. Listen. It was Phase Rip. Phase Rip has column shifts first. Yeah, column shifts first because it came with DC Heroes, didn't come out until after the first basic Marvel set. So, but let me go ahead and get DC Heroes. I'll be right back. All right. Well, I could not find my DC, it's a DC universe. Could not find that. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of things. I'm going to show you still my first two, the first two editions that I have, which I put all in the same box set because the first box set, the first box was destroyed. Like that box is gone. Okay. So, I'm also going to show you, for those who are interested in Vaesen, just take a look at it. Artwork for Vaesen is off of the chain. You want to talk about perfect for the genre. If you're familiar with Dragonbane from Free League Publishing, same guy. The Duck. Those of you who know Dragonbane, you know what I'm talking about. But let's go ahead. We're going to first take a look at. Let's first take a look at, and I'm going to change my overlay here, so we can go with just a normal one. So you guys can see that pretty well, but I'll turn my light on. Okay, so this is the second edition. This is the box set for second edition. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to show you first edition. This is first edition. Right here. Like I said, the box set for first edition was destroyed ages ago. So, did something to my shoulder yesterday when I was working out, and like keeps popping out of place or something. I don't know what the deal is. So this is first edition. So you had the Game Master's Manual. Remember back in the day when you had like separate manuals for stuff? It's like in the core books that we have today, right? They're like this thick. And back then it was just kind of like 96 pages. Yeah, there you go. For the Game Master's Manual, powers and skills, 40 pages. This is an adventure. It says read this first so you can kind of get familiar with it. So that's always been a part of things. I don't know why I have two GM screens, but I do. And I believe that's it. This is something else I'm missing, which there might be. But anyway, so that was the kind of like the first edition of it. This is first edition, right? Boom. Got it. Then they came out with second edition. This is second edition. Now, what's weird is as I have been playing my solo campaign, that there were things that were in first edition that didn't end up being in second edition that should have been in second edition, which was really weird. So it was good that as I was playing solo, I kind of had to go back to first edition to get some stuff that should have been in there, but wasn't in second edition. So again, we got kind of the same thing here. So here we've got Exposed, which is a beginner adventure. So you got that. You always have the read this first thing. Then you have what you call the main rules manual here. As you can see, mine is a little toe up, but it's still intact. Still intact, y'all. Then you have character handbook here. And this is for all the powers and things like that. They call it powers and skills there, but this is for all the powers. Okay. Then you have the background roster book. So this is for what was going on in the DC universe at that time, not what's gone on, since. So you had Bell Rev, and you had all these different NPCs, and you had like the JLA, you had the Golden Heroes, you had the JSA. This is JSA. So you had them. Spectre was a part of the JSA. Wow, with what they did with the Spectre. Okay, the Spectre ain't a part of nobody's group. He ain't a part of nobody's group. He does his own thing because he is the Spectre, and that is just how John Ostrander changed him. And I have those comics, by the way. On that first run with him and Tim Mandrake. Oh my gosh, that was so dope what he did with him. Oh, one of the best, dude. One of the best comic runs. Okay, anyway, let's keep going here. So you've got the in the roster book here, all the different kind of groups. It starts with the JSA and then goes to J. It went to JLA and then it went to JLE, Justice League Europe, which was short-lived. Got the new Titans here. I think this is our favorite Suicide Squad. You have Infinity Incorporated. I don't know if a lot of you know them, but I do since I collect the comics. Hero Hotline, remember them? Probably not, but you had to collect comics to know them. Other heroes, Ambush Bug. Oh man, some of these cats. And what they came with, I didn't grab it. I don't know what I did with them. They came with cards. So you just had a card that would have all your stats and everything if you played that. Most people, I mean, I don't know about you, but most people, when I played anything, wanted to create their own hero, right? I think I have some, and I'll show you one. But this was the new screen that they gave you. Mine is pretty pristine, as you can see. Even now, I still use one of those. I have 3 screens, and I use the oldest beat up one, just because I like to keep my stuff pristine. So this is the one screen here. Then this is bee's knees. I use this all the time when I'm playing solo. I use this one all the time. So this one here is the action table wheel. And, it tells you how to use it, but it's extremely simple. Once you know the mechanics, and you just turn the wheel and you just look down. It makes things really simple. It's more simple than actually looking at a table and then trying to find where they cross intersect and all the rest of that stuff. This one, you just turn the wheel and that's it. So this made the game easier. It made the system easier. So I use this all the time when I'm playing solo. But like I said, and I think there's one in here, so I have to, at the bottom here. I don't know what that's from. What is this from? Let's see what this is from. I think it's from one of the modules. Yeah, it is. I'm not sure which module, though. Which module is this? Wow. What is this? Sub-basement. Wow. What the world is this? Was this JLA? Wow, we got level 7. Y'all, I am not sure what this is. So maybe, I mean, if you've got this, let me know in the chat if you've got this and you know what this is, because I have no idea what this is. Sub-basement houses. Oh, this is Teen Titans. Wow. The Teen Titans have a base like this? Good grief. Okay, so this went with the Teen Titans. This is Teen Titans stuff. And they gave you remember back in the day when you did things with graph paper? Remember that? Yep. That's how we did things back in the Dizzy. And this looks, I know, it looks like something from an architect, but that's the way we did things back in the day. This one here, is this the Batcave? I think it is. No, is this the Wayne Foundation? This is the Wayne Foundation penthouse. Okay. Hey man, you got me. Y'all got me looking at stuff I ain't looked at in a minute. Okay, here's Wayne Manor. So this is, this is not the Batcave. This is just Wayne Manor itself. This thing is huge. Sheesh. All right. And then this was one that I had made and I made a photocopy of the cutout, and there's another one I made a photocopy of. This is when I actually used a typewriter. Remember those things? Remember typewriters? For those of you who's still around at that time, I used to have these things called typewriters, y'all. Batcave. Batcave. And you know what's cool? You know, if you really wanted to go into the weeds on all of this, if you really wanted to go into the weeds, you know, you've now got these tools, things like Dungeon Alchemist. And you could just basically take this, and you've got a printer and you can scan it. So you can scan it and just take this and make it exactly as it is on these piece of paper, on these maps, and stuff like this. Now we have the capability to actually make this stuff. And if you play virtually, or even if you don't play virtually, but you need this, you want this for a live session, you could do both. Because you've got, map creators, whether you use Incarnate, whether you use Dungeon Alchemist, whether you use, what's the other one that I use that's more for like modern maps and things like that. It's been so long since I used it. I forgot what the name of it is. It'll come to mind. I've done several videos on it. But I'll show you, this is not my PC. This is somebody else's. Adding machine. Remember adding machine? Wow, it's showing our age, bro. Oh, sincerely showing our age. Okay, let's go. So here, this is a character. I'm trying to think of who. I think this was Ken. A friend of mine back in the day, his name is Ken. So I'll let you see it. Called the Tank, right? This was his character. Okay, this one I made, but I made this one. Now, so wait a minute. I changed this one. I did not make this one. I changed it. So this one was called Gemini. And then I made remember typewriters? I typed out a whole background, his history, his description, his personality. I told you, man, I've always been RPG elite. I've always been RPG elite. It's not something that I just started. Been doing this since way back in the day. It has typewriters and stuff like this. Oh, man. Oh, this is touching my heart. So this is Jim's character. And if you've been on the channel for a while, you know that Jim he was my brother from another mother of a different color. And he passed away. Last 3 years. And this was his character. It's called The Guardian. Now, I typed this up for him, right? So this was his background and everything, typed it up for him. He actually wrote it, though. This is his stuff. This was man. And this right here was your factor cost sheet. And this is very, very, very convenient. Very convenient to have that. Because my character just went up and I had to do the factor cost thing. And I was looking at the book. I even forgot that I had that. Now, again, there is another one, and I think the D6 one that you're talking about came after second edition. But then there was another one that came after that, was the DC Universe, and that one was a D20 system. I don't know where that is right now. Like I told you, there was a Suds, I think, is the one who sent it to me, and he sent me that. But yeah, man. Oh, I got me some DC heroes. Oh, for real, Magilla. And when it comes time to do a deep dive, probably going to be that. Like I said, I'm already playing it. I'm playing it solo. Been playing it for a while now, and it's got a lot of little mechanics and things in there. We could really do a deep dive, right? Yeah, Jim was dude. He was my first. He was the first player that I ever ran a game with. First game I ever ran was somehow I got a red box handbook edition of the game I refuse to mention by name on this channel. But then once I discovered the basic set for Marvel superheroes, I went there, and Jim was there from the very beginning. This is the mid 1980s, 84, 83, maybe even. And he was there though the entire time. He was and he was I think where he got the role playing aspect of it was from me, because he had been playing with other people, and it was not the same, right? Because I was playing with those cats too, and just really wasn't having a lot of fun. So I didn't really play with them all the time. When they would say that they're getting ready to play a game, I was just like, yeah, I'm good, you know. So again, I had a little bit of that RPG elite in me at that time. But yeah, he's been there from the beginning, man. He has Marvel characters that I still have. His first Marvel character I still have. And he used to, it was called Tornado, man. And every time that we were playing, I was running a game, we were playing. And every time that we would, Tornado would do something, he would like put his fingers together like this and be like, okay, I want to do this power. I was like, okay, that's cool, you know, try to get physical with it a little bit, you know. That was his way of, you know, expressing the old tornado thing. I never forget that. I thought it was great. So, but yeah, DCU was kind of that was a precursor to Eminem, and really didn't, you know, wasn't a fan of, I'm not a fan of Eminem at all. And I have it, I'm just not a fan. The first edition was better. First and second edition was better in my eyes. But what we got going on now over on the Solo RPG Chronicles, all right, we have, this is what I'm playing, if you're not familiar. So I'm playing Outgunned. Got that action thing going, and I'm, you know, I break it down, right? But in between, what I do is I break down the mechanics, go through, and then I interpret that with a cinematic. And that's the poll and all the rest of that stuff. Now this, I love the way this feels. If you could feel this, it feels like velvety a little bit. No cap, man. I mean, it feels like, I don't know what it is about the outside of this book, but that's how it feels. Is it all books that are like that? Man, I love the feel of this, because I think this one doesn't quite feel like that. So this is Mutant Year Zero. There you go. And so I'm doing this right now, Solo RPG Chronicles. And this is what we're doing over at Substack. And this right here is something I'm going to be giving away if you're part of the Leet Squad. I did not mention that, but I did a video where I was covering the game, you know, my giveaways for this year and what I was going to give away. And I'm giving this away because they sent me this and I didn't ask for it because I already had it. So they sent me another one. And I was like, okay, well, I don't need this. I already know. I already got everything for the game, so I didn't need this. I didn't ask for it. I'm not quite sure why they. I already told them I had this. It might have been somebody new. Who knows? Because things have changed over there quite a bit as far as their PR company that handles all their stuff. So they just sent me this, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna give it away. I recently heard of it. The system reminds me of the Whispering Vault. Is that for Outgunned or for Vaesen? There's a term for the Hyberber books. Covers feel like that too. Okay. That's what I thought. It just got this feel, man. They feel nice. Feel like they're nice to hold. You know what I'm saying? Like this one has a totally different feel. It's got a really that booky matte thing. But here it's kind of like that. Like I said, it feels velvety. So nice. Very nice. You know, inside, matte finish stuff. But inside for this is glossy. These are glossy pages. But the outside is, and that it's, not a full-size book, but it just looks good. I mean, it looks fantastic. Let's keep it a Benjamin on that. What we got here? I prefer matte finish. I really do. I've got both, and it's just preference. That's all. It's just preference. I just like matte finish stuff. This is matte finish, right? And again, this copy right here is going to be given away to somebody. Let me knock my head out of the way real quick so you guys can see the whole thing. But this right here, the dude's art. The dude's art. I'm sorry. I adore the dude's art. I adore the art of the book. I adore the layout and design. Come on. And what's weird is that I really wasn't expecting this. When I was checking out the game, I was expecting I'm going to check out a game. It's not that big of a deal. Love the way they put this together, man. Love this. Okay, well, we're here now, so we might as well just get to it. So these are different these are different roles that you can have. So you can be an academic, a doctor, a hunter, a cultist, an officer, a priest, a private detective. Looks like Sherlock Holmes over here. A servant. Jeeves or Jarvis. A vagabond. So I'm playing a co-op with someone right now, and let me switch this over. So I'm playing that right now, and he's a vagabond. I think the kid is in his teens, like 13 or something like that, and I have one who's a priest, and he's like in his 40s. And we've got this. We're on this case right now that's super weird and so dope because both of us have no idea, because obviously it's a tabletop RPG. You wouldn't know. So we don't know what Vaesen that it is. We have no idea what's going on. And we're following the Mythic Game Master emulator. And it's just super fun, man. Super fun. So you have Vagabond, you have Writer. And I think I was getting ready to think that's it. Now, when you get to the expansions, obviously they have more roles, so they expand the roles. They only expanded by a little bit, though. I think they only give you like 4 new ones. I've got brand new stuff from them that I unboxed recently, but I don't know what's in it. It's Mythic Carpathia. So over in the area of where Dracula was and all the rest of that stuff, and they introduced vampires and all the rest of that. So, but I just love that. I think the dude's art is perfect for the genre. I just love his art. And I didn't, when I was doing this, I was like, I don't know why I'm attracted to this. There's just so many little things that together make it big things. Right? And so I'm just really impressed with this. And we keep going. Sorry, y'all. I just get a kick out of this stuff. That's the cover. And these are some of the Vaesen in the back here, right? Great. This is the cover of one of their expansions. So you have, and they go into detail about Vaesen and all the rest of that stuff. But there's a Brook horse right there. Church Grim. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. It just fairy. There's the fairies. They're ghost, and how they do ghost is man. Giants. Dude. Lindworm. Okay. Dangerous. And that's all I'm saying. And so is that, the mayor. And here's the thing with Vaesen, okay? Sometimes the best thing for you to do in Vaesen, when you encounter a certain Vaesen, is run. Don't sit up there and try. That's not, if you know murder, this is the most horrible game for murder hobos. Okay? Okay, because they will die. It would just be the end of it. Many times it's figuring out the mystery and just actually using your brain. That's another thing that I like about Vaesen. Right there, that mechanic. It's not a beat 'em up, bang 'em up game where you know, it's a monster, let's beat 'em up. Sometimes that is just the worst idea. You will make things worse, not only for yourself, but just the whole situation. You have to do the investigations. You have to do the research. You have to know, because you don't know what these things can do. The only Vaesen that you may know something about is the first one that you saw, and it's only fleeting. Like the first one that my priest saw was the Church Grim. Still not quite sure what that was until he went to I got a whole background on him. So now he knows a little bit about it. Because you get like a headquarters and you can upgrade your. Oh, that's another thing I like. I'm sorry, I keep finding more things that I like about the game, but you get like the headquarters that you get in the core book is called Castle Gillencrutz, I think it is, or Galencrutz or something like that. Hold up, let me go back here and let me see. Here it is. Your headquarters. Castle, it's Gillencrutz. Excuse me. If the T is pronounced. So I'm going to say Castle Gillencrutz. So that's your headquarters if you're playing in the core game. If you're playing in Mythic Britain and Ireland, then it's called the Rose House, which is where I have my solo campaign for that. And you can get all of this information about some of these different Vaesen, but you don't know about all these things. You don't know about every Vaesen that's out there. I don't think anybody, no Rose House, no Castle Gillencrutz, they don't know everything about these Vaesen. So you have to figure it out as you go. And sometimes attacking one is the worst idea ever. Just because of, depending on what you're investigating and everything, sometimes it's not going to do you any good at all. Like with the Lindworm, it's just, I looked at the Lindworm. I know what it is. It's just like, okay, bro, it's not it. There's another one. It's just like, and not all Vaesen are monsters, so to speak, right? It's different. It's hey, what's going on, Rat? With Vaesen, it's different. It depends on what you are facing. Some of them are kind of neutral. Some of them are evil, and some of them might help you out if like I said, Vaesen is a horrible game for murder hobos. It's an absolutely horrible game. But it's got all these different, now a lot of these things you will find from their lore. So this is all folklore from their lore. If you go to the British, the Mythic Britain and Ireland, that's from their lore. Black dogs are in that book, by the way. But all of this stuff here, you've probably heard about. I've heard of Anisi. Okay? They're not Okay, you guys don't see what I'm seeing. I'm sorry. Let me put you back on the overlay. Um, this right here, not, not. It's some of these are like fickle, right? So they might be cool 1 second, and then the next second they'll turn on you, right? Some of them are very deceptive. So, oh man, this is why I love this game. Sorry, man. I just really do. Really love this game. You got the classic troll here. You guys know it from fantasy, but this is the classic version, the classic folklore troll that, hides in the forest and hides under the. These right here are supposed to be cool. This is a Vaesen, but it's a cool Vaesen, right? So this is the reason why I like the game so much. Okay, well, not a cool Vaesen. Okay, we all know that, right? Will-o'-the-wisp, right there, y'all. Deceptive. Let me say that. So, and then you've got all your non-player characters, and then you have in the back of this here, you have a couple of different what they call mysteries, and that's it. So somebody's going to get this book that I just went through right here. If you're part of the Leet squad, I'm going to be giving this, and the whole video tells you some of the stuff I'm going to be giving away this year. I got quite a few cool things that I'll be giving away. The majority of the months of this year, probably starting next month. Only thing that you will need to do is probably, give a brother a break and pay for postage. And I'm not going to break the bank on you, right? But I'm sending most of this stuff media mail, so that's the cheapest. So, and put some insurance on it, and you guys should get it. But again, that's the game. You know what I'm saying? And again, we're doing some outgunned, did some classic stuff. I'm still playing that classic DC Heroes. Still playing that. So yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to this year. 2026 is going to be a different year for RPG Elite and what I'm doing. The whole idea that now I got to do animation for the my membership for the Elite division, and it's cool because you yes, they do. I forgot which book it's in though. It might be in this book. Hold on. Let's look for it. It might be in this one, but no, it's not in this one. It's in another book. And like I said, now they've expanded on Vaesen quite a bit. I think that's in Mythic Britain and Ireland. I'm almost positive that's Mythic Britain and Ireland. That's the other expansion. I don't have it here, but yes, I'm pretty sure that they do have that. They have that. They have black dogs. They have hags. They have. I'm going from the Mythic Ireland, Britain. They have this one little sinister imp. What is he called? Just little demonic thing. Like he's sinister. It's cool at first until I forgot what he was called, but yeah, that's a big expansion. The Mythic Carpathia. I'm going to guess that it's probably like the same as Mythic Ireland and Britain, or Mythic Britain and Ireland. I'm not real sure what the order is there. And they've got the box set now that came out, and they've got it's better if you get the core book though. And they've got I think it is a campaign. They got quite a bit out for Vaesen right now. So if you like that story-driven mystery, simple system, supernatural type of stuff, you don't love Vaesen. For real. You don't love Vaesen. This year is going to be a different year. Really going to be kind of, leaning into, learning more about how to have animation and all the rest of that stuff, and doing that for the Elite division, and get better at it. Obviously, I'm just starting with this and learning how to do it, and um, I had to waste a lot of credits just learning how to do it, right? And I didn't want to do that. I wasted one, but that's just kind of like, you're just gonna have to budget for that, because you have to pay for this stuff. So you're just gonna have to budget for it. But now that I got my system in place, I did have a system in place that was working really well and kept it kind of consistent towards the end. And I was like, all right, cool. Now I know what I'm doing. And now I have the system. This will go easier. Still going to have to probably burn through some credits because of the way that AI interprets stuff sometimes, even when you put stuff in there. But yeah, but if you love this kind of mythology and stuff like this for Vaesen, then I highly suggest you get the game. And a link for that is down in the description, by the way. I highly suggest that. Or you can join the Leet squad and try your hand at trying to win it again. I mean, I have hundreds of people on my list. It's actually almost 400 people are on my list. So I mean, we'll see. Who wins, because only one person can win. You know what I'm saying? But go over there and try your hand at it there also. But it's a great game. Me and my right-hand man, Tom, we've been playing that for a while. We've got a campaign going there. You guys know, who have been watching the channel for a while, I got a Kilo Balendemu in my solo campaign, and I will be doing that over on the Elite Division as well. We're going to be expanding that, and you guys have seen how I did that, which was kind of a mix of the motion comics-y stuff with... it was just different. It was just different. But now we're going to get that animation going, y'all. We're going to get that. A lot of things have changed, hasn't it? Things have changed quite a bit. But I'm able to bring content to you guys that, and make these stories that we create and develop, we're playing, and it would be cool to see what it was that we just played type of stuff. So I'm very excited about presenting that to you guys who are part of the command unit, and really learning more and how to develop. Because have you guys seen the AI cinematics that people have been putting out on YouTube? Crazy. It's just like, I just, some of the battles, I just saw one, and you can look it up. Namor versus Storm. I think it's a short too. Number one, Namor looks like Namor, so that's huge. And Storm looks like Storm. So that always helps. But they fight against each other, and it's an AI cinematic. Oh my gosh. I am, and I just might spend the money to learn how to get that good. Because if you go and you look at that, you're going to be like, dang, that's crazy. And it's just a battle between those two, just to show you the what it can do. Hey, what's going on, my man? What's going on? Nick's in the house. Yeah, so like I said, go and find Imperious. You know what? He was one of my I love Namor. All right. I know he's arrogant, and he acts like his poop don't stink. But the guy really loves his people. There's this in Marvel, they had this comic that came out. It was called the Illuminati, right? And the Illuminati was supposed to be Tony Stark, Professor Xavier, Black Panther, Mr. Fantastic, and Namor. And there was this one, I have the issue, where they're all meeting in this clandestinely. They're meeting in this place away from everybody, right? And they're discussing this thing, and Namor is there, and he's just being Namor. He's just standoffish and everything, and he's listening to what's going on, and then he just interjects in the middle of it, and he just says, none of this is of my concern, nor of my people's, and just starts to walk off. And they were like, Namor, you know, this, no, but it can affect it. He was like, nah, it doesn't have direct, it has no bearing on me or my people at all. This is you land dwellers' problem. You deal with it. I was just like, you know, and you look at that, it's like, oh, come on, Namor. But it's Namor. That is classic Namor. That's who he is. Just an excellent, just that little, it was like 2 panels, man. And I was like, well, somebody knows Namor because that's who he is. That's exactly who he is. He is noble. He's extremely noble. But yeah, he's very confident about who he is. And I love it. I love him as a character. He's not a bad guy, you know. I just love him as a character, you know. I got something for you. So you always have these parallels with the DC universe and Marvel, the 2 biggies in terms of characters and who came first. So who came first? Was it Namor or was it Aquaman? Let me see if I can get some responses here in the chat. See if you know. I'm going to tell you who it was, but take a stab at it. Take a guess. Was it Aquaman? Don't cheat. Was it Aquaman or was it Namor? I know y'all were probably on your phone looking for it or something like that. Don't cheat. All right. Well, we ain't got nothing going on in the chat. So I'll tell you, it was Namor. Namor came a little bit before Aquaman. Yep, it was Namor. Yeah, it was Namor. Namor is just better. He's like this peak of masculinity, man. I just love him. And they kind of made Aquaman like that, but it was like in the 90s when they came out with his book and he lost his hand and all the rest of that stuff. That was when Aquaman was like, okay, Aquaman is kind of cool. But Namor had been kind of like that forever. You know, but it was Namor. Love Namor. As a matter of fact, hold on 1 second. I don't know if my mic is going to reach over there. So let me take this off real quick. I'm going over here real quick because I'm looking at something and I want you guys to see it. I got something for you. All right. So, what'd I say, baby? Right here. HeroClix Namor. Yeah. And I use HeroClix. I use these for miniatures when you're playing like you got a battle, especially for Marvel. I got a whole bunch of them. I got Captain America, Luke Cage, all those guys, and I've got DC hero stuff too as well. Right. Yeah, Namor was around the same time Cap was. And Cap's been around forever. Yep, he was in the Invaders. As well as the original Human Torch. Remember, and Bucky and all those cats, man. There was an Invaders that came out like way later. They did another release of that. It was fantastic. It was really good. And I forgot. I have it somewhere. Dude, I don't know. I have to still read so many comics over there that I just bought and just never. Because I don't buy comics. Number one, I don't really buy comics anymore. I haven't bought them in a long time. But number two, if I do buy comics, they're before 2005. 2006, somewhere in there. Anything after that comes after that and after the movies and whatever, I pretty much don't. I'm collecting all these old back issues and the old classics from the 80s and the 90s and stuff like that. And if I can get them from the 70s. Jordan Wiseman. Yeah. Yeah, and look at, I want you to see, this is what I'm talking about. So we people who understand comics understand this. Look at him and how look at the pose. Arms crossed. Let me go ahead and try to get this in focus for you a little bit. It's kind of blurry, but you can see him. The arms are crossed. He's just got the attitude. He's so Namor. You just got the attitude, man. But yeah, normally they got dollar comics down at my shop. I just go in and I buy and I'm probably going to start again. But I have so many comics that I have not read. I have like hundreds upon hundreds of comics that I haven't touched. I haven't read them. And then you got those omnibusts that, that stuff or trade paperback actually. I got a lot of trade paperbacks. I have the trade paperback for the Phantom Stranger from back in the Disney. Still working my way through that one. I got one for the Avengers. I got one and here's the thing. Okay, here's another one. Okay, just to let you know, I did not jump on the Avengers bandwagon. I was already on it before anybody else was. I was an Avengers fanatic. When everybody else was collecting X-Men, guess what your boy was collecting? Yeah, I was collecting the Avengers. So yeah, I ain't jump on that bandwagon. The Avengers have changed drastically since then. But I like the classic, like the time when Dr. Druid, he was the head of the Avengers, believe it or not. Like he was the chairman of the Avengers. He led the Avengers for a while. Not the best time in the Avengers history, but hey, that was the whole idea. The roster changed all of the time. I miss when they were 20. You miss when they were 25 cents. Dude, I went to the comic shop to see a modern comic, right? I saw a modern comic. It was $3.99, I want to say. And nowhere near had the amount of pages that our classic comics had. Like, it wasn't even near. Now, of course, they used newsprint back then. These are all glossy, but they're like this thin. Like, what? And now they're in trouble. If you follow comics, they're in trouble, right? Because all the nonsense that they've been putting in comics and nobody's buying them and all the rest of this stuff and all the controversy and wokeness and blah, 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 and all the rest of that stuff. Nobody buys them. So I say, I don't buy that stuff. I told you, I only buy stuff, the older stuff, 90s, early 2000s, 80s, 70s, Part of that is because I like complete collections. So a lot of the Avengers comics that I have not read because, with me, when I sit down and I want to read, I like, just going through the whole storyline, right? I don't like having them spaces in between. And I'm like, oh, what happened in that issue? Right. So I just won't read it. Right. So that's another reason why I'm not reading. That's why I'm reading trade paperbacks now, because I know that I'm getting, a full storyline of something. I have an Avengers. I don't know if I have an Avengers issue by Gene Colan. My earliest Avengers issue is issue 87. I have an issue 87 in, I don't know what condition they would consider it, but it's not mint. It's not near mint, but I think it's in excellent condition or something like that. Showcase presents the Spectre. I love the Spectre now because I have the original John Ostrander, Tim Mandrake, not all of them, and I want to get them because when I was reading them, I was like, oh my gosh, this story is insanely good. And I have the issue. Listen to me now. I have the issue when John Ostrander changed the Spectre to be the wrath of God. I have that issue. And I was floored. I was like, this is absolutely this writing. And I was under the impression, I was like, I could have swore John Ostrander was an artist. I was like, I didn't know he was right like this, man. This was crazy. It's like crazy good. But I think I have some holes in that. I need some issues. So I'm trying to, so basically what I do when I collect comics, I'm doing trying to patch up my collection and my runs for certain things. Fantastic Four, Daredevil. I'm a mostly Marvel guy, though I do collect like JLA, Batman, some Superman, Spectre, stuff like that, Shadow, um, less pages and less story. Yeah, less pages, less story, more expensive, and bad story on top of that. What? I'm supposed to pay for that? Get out of here with that nonsense. I'm not paying for that noise. Not at all. It's ridiculous. Makes no sense to me, right? So I'm right there with you, bro. I'm like, are you serious? It's like the story was, there was a time, you remember The Lord of the Rings, the movies? You remember that time? You remember the time in the 90s and stuff when you actually made like good movies? You remember this? You remember the movie Glory with Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman? There was a time when our media and stuff was really, like Remember the Titans and Coach Carter and gosh, I can name so many movies. It was just, they were just better. Shoot, and you don't really, I mean, you got to go back 20 years, but like Fringe was a fantastic television show, right? Season 5 got weird. I will admit, I'll give you that. It got weird. But first 4 seasons are just off the chain. I just went and rebought season 1 because one of my discs got scratched or something. And every time I tried to put it in my player, it was just like, it just would freeze and bounce. And I even went to the place to let them try to buff it out. It didn't work. So I just went and rebought the whole season. Cost me $5. That was it. Fallen. Yeah, remember those movies? Remember movies when they used to, like, this is why like the John Wick series is so, that kind of got out of hand. But the John Wick series and everything when it first came out or whatever, those are few and far between. Like you don't find those, but they do so well. They just can't admit that that is the stuff that people want. Reacher, stuff like that. Okay, this is what people want when it comes to their entertainment. What we got here? I still drop 2 bills on comics each month. It's my guilty pleasure. It's like I said, bro. I probably am going to go back to it, but again, back issues, and I've got tons of, I know that once I crest 3,000 comics, it's going to get ridiculous after that. I'm going to have to eventually actually read these comics, I'm going to have to, I got nice boxes for them and I got, I put them all in the plastic bags and backing boards and all the rest of this stuff. And I haven't even read them. Some of this stuff, they're not worth a whole lot. I just like taking care of my stuff. Right. And, I'm just particular, they used to like back in the day, you remember, all right, Chris Claremont, he was, he did the whole X-Men run. Everybody thought he was great. I thought he was okay. I did. I thought he was okay. I thought there were better writers. I thought Roger Stern was a better writer all around. I really did. I even thought John Byrne, for crying out loud, was a better writer. Oh, but he was. That's me, man. Approximately 40 issues a month. Wow, man. I like the Monster of the Week stuff from the X-Files and Fringe. Yeah, Fringe was dope. Millennium. I tried my best, man, to find the like I try my best to find like DVDs of that, because I think it was what, 2 seasons? I think it was 2 seasons and it was gone. But I still wanted those 2 seasons. I cannot find them anywhere. Hard to find. Yeah, there was a lot of good stuff. The 90s, like, we kind of peaked. Maybe, and that kind of went on until like the mid 2000s. That's when we kind of peaked. We had a lot of good stuff going on back then. Lots of good stuff. Now, oh shoot. I mean, it's really nitpick. You gotta pick, you know? And especially when it comes to, film, television, all that stuff. Remember when streaming was supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread? And basically what people did is they traded television, they traded mainstream television for streaming because it's the same thing and you got to watch, ads and stuff anyway. And you have to do a subscription for everything. And cable was supposed to, streaming was supposed to get rid of that, right? Cable was like bad. And, I didn't want to pay for HBO. I didn't want to pay for Cinemax. I didn't want to pay. You're doing the same exact thing now. Now you got to pay for Hulu and you got to pay for Netflix and you got to pay for Paramount. You got to pay for Disney Plus. You got to pay. That's okay, man. I have one. And the only reason why I have it is that it came with the package for Prime. That's it. I don't have anything else. Number one, I don't have time. And number two, there's just nothing good out there. It really isn't. Right? And there's a whole lot of free stuff. Tubi, Pluto, Roku, which I have. So I'm good. And I discover older stuff that was pretty good as a result of that. Okay, getting back to the chat here. I started collecting in 84. I have given away like 15 or more long boxes of comics. 4,500 issues. Nice. You should have given them to me. I wish I would have known you there. John Byrne, new storytelling. Not a huge fan of his art, but his layouts were great. Okay, the idea is that, well, streaming is messed up by it now too, right? Streaming is messed up with commercials. Prime has commercials, by the way. I kid you not, I'm paying for that and it has commercials. You have to pay for a commercial-free experience. Now, I don't pay for that because I don't watch Prime like that because it's not worth it. It's not worth my time, and I do other things that are far worth my time. Like, I don't know, play a tabletop RPG solo. Playing tabletop RPG solos and reading, I'm less and less. And number one, I'm gonna give you a quiz. Give you a quiz. I know there's only a handful of you in here, but I'll give you a quiz. What is the largest streaming service on the planet? I'll let you, and I know that this has a little bit of a delay, so I'll go ahead and let you guys put your answers in the chat. What do you think the largest streaming service on the planet is? We'll do that. Doom, 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 doom. Oh shoot, somebody got it right off the bat. Jason got it right out the gate. He's right. It's YouTube. I watch that more than I watch anything else. It's YouTube. YouTube kills all of those platforms by many orders of magnitude. YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. And I watched 2 shows that I now am trying to get on DVD and Blu-ray that I got first through Netflix DVDs in the mail was Smallville and 24. So for 24, I have all seasons except one, but that season came like after it officially ended. So there were like 2 seasons that came after 24 ended. I think Die Another Day is one, and there was another one that came out, and this is with Jack Bauer. But and then it stopped. And then they tried to come out with 24, and they, kind of race swapped the main character and all the rest of this stuff. It didn't do well at all. I didn't watch it. So that I have. So the first original, it was 8 or 9 seasons. 9, actually. The first original 9 seasons I have. Me and my wife, we'll pull it out and we'll watch it and be like, Jack is dope. Because once you put it away for a while, you forget all the little details and stuff like that. And then you go back and you watch it and you be like, oh, shoot, I forgot about that. Oh, and you just have a good time all over again, right? DVDs are going away at a dinosaur. So if you really want to get some of that old classic stuff, that older classic stuff, and you really want to, you just kind of watch it whenever you want to. Don't do streaming, because that's wasting money. Take that streaming money, go buy a DVD or a Blu-ray. There you go. Would rather get some reading done, but reading is not a group activity. So my wife and I resort to watching shows together or playing a tabletop RPG co-op. Try that with your wife sometime, Rhett. Say, hey, you want to play a tabletop RPG with me? She's probably going to look at you sideways because, you guys are used to playing with a group. Do something different. Just try playing a co-op. Me and Tom, we play co-op. We play Vaesen co-op. We play Starforge co-op. It's just me and him. Have a ball. We have a blast. We play for hours, dude. Just like a normal session. We just play for hours. So try that. I'm sure your wife already plays, and since she plays, I'm sure she's been down for something like that. You guys discover that stuff together. Get Mythic Game Master Emulator, by the way, unless the game already has a system. But get the Mythic Game Master Emulator so you can learn that system together. You can apply that to any tabletop RPG, and then you guys can play tabletop RPGs together like whenever. My wife wants to do it with me, with just me and her. She wants to do Cypher System because she made a character for Cypher System, and I haven't played it in literally years, and she wants to kind of rekindle that. And my wife does not play tabletop RPGs. Like, she got into playing tabletop RPGs because of watching me and Tom and everything when we were together, when we would do a live session. And so about the only thing with her is when we started playing a live session together, she would like, she would be, she kind of lose herself in the story by watching me play my character and watching Tom play his character. So she would just kind of like be looking back and forth and whatever, which is really what you want. If like you're in a gaming shop or whatever, or you're just at home or whatever, and you're playing a game, that kind of draws people in. My wife ain't never even heard of a tabletop RPG before she met me. And it was later on in our marriage. And even when she did, she would like come through. She would make us food. That's what she's good at. So she'd make us food and all the rest of this stuff. And then she just out of the blue one day said that, I think I'd be interested in that. And after a little bit of prodding, I got her into a couple of her sessions, got her character made, helped her make her character. I asked her what she liked in terms of like, what kind of stories do you like? Like and I just use television shows and film because that's easiest. She goes, I want to do something like action, and I was like, okay. I said, we can go with Cypher System, and then I can change that because the Cypher System is agnostic, so I can change it into whatever I wanted it to be. And so I catered this to the new player, right? So as an RPG elite, that's what I do. I first find out more information for that player. Again, I'm a tabletop RPG evangelist, and I really believe in the power of the story. And from an RPG elite perspective, anyway, if I'm going to teach them anything, I'm going to teach them how to see things through the RPG elite lens. And so that's why I like new players, because, I can encourage them to, this is the lens to really get into the story. Now, that can be a little bit frustrating for them because if they go outside of, and try to play with other people, they're more than likely not going to have that lens. And so that could be a little frustrating. But back to the chat. Have the mythic aim ladder gimlet and the decision dice. Decision dice? I never heard of that. It has decision dice? Oh, are you talking about you're talking about Elton's the big fat die. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. I don't use that for my solo play, and you're going to see that when I do Outgunned. I don't use that. Like I play a particular game that doesn't have a solo system, and I use the Mythic Game Master emulator as the Mythic Game Master, but the system is the game. And you'll see it. You'll see more of how I do it because, like I said, I'm going to actually play the sessions out for the Elite Division, so you guys will see it. I think I already did. I do one already, or haven't I not done that? I don't know. I think I did. No, I did not. Oh, it's been a while. I know, but I'll show you how I play through my sessions, how I make my decisions, things like that, how to use a Mythic Game Master emulator to do those types of things by using the chaos factor and all the rest of that stuff. So it's a great system once you get used to it. It's just like this. It's simple. Hit the jackpot. Don't get me talking about food. Thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate it. I really, lately, I tell you, I don't look at my like subscriber count except every once in a great while, right? I just don't. Because, okay, as I said before, this is part of my business. It's not my business. And believe it or not, the subscribers is just a vanity metric, bro. It really is. There are people with millions of subscribers. They ain't doing jack. They're not doing as good as I am. It's a vanity metric and all the rest of that. I don't chase the algorithm. I just don't. What I'm trying to do here is foster a community, a specific kind of community. Some people are going to come through and they will come and go because they're not my audience. I don't have anything against those cats or nothing like that. It's not like that. People just take this stuff way too seriously. It is because as most those who actually understand YouTube or understand what they want from YouTube, I'm looking for a particular audience and I'm looking to cultivate that audience. So I have the Leet squad because if something happens to YouTube, I'd like to be able to get a hold of them still. So I have the Leet squad, which is my email list, and I have the Element chat server, which is something you can have direct access to me. Like you can post something and I'll find it, and it's like Discord except better, and it's really exclusive. So I'm trying to do something specific with my YouTube channel. Now, when I first began, that wasn't the case. Because I'm learning. I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was supposed to just get views and get this and get that. And so you kind of go through those things, the same things that everybody goes through. But I'm a mad researcher. I do a sinful amount of research on stuff. For real. This is like overboard. You know what I'm saying? And but I know my stuff as a result. And I got out of that. And so now I've been changing and I've been turning the channel into the direction to really draw in those people that, my audience, which are out there. Folks, there's billions of people out there. A lot of them have internet. A lot of them just now getting on YouTube. Some of them haven't even discovered tabletop RPGs. All right, I'm the guy. So I want to grab them and stuff like that. So the RPG Elite philosophy, as many videos as I've done about that, is I follow that. Ask anybody, as people who play with me, I follow that stuff to the core. There's people like RPG Elite Quality number 5. Yeah, there's people I will never play with, ever. And there's people I won't play with, even though they're cool people. We just have a different philosophy when it comes to tabletop RPGs. And if I'm going to invest hours of my life into something, well, okay, we got to be on the same page. If we're not on the same page, that's fine. I'll just abdicate. No big deal here. I'll go play solo. These problems are really solved simply without friction and all the rest of this stuff. These people have all these horror stories. Okay, I killed that noise years ago. I don't have horror stories. Like, I have some stories that are, might be interesting, but they're not even, I don't even think they're a handful, y'all. I'm just being legit. I just avoid that stuff. I like peace. Because listen, you get one time in this life. You got one go around. So I'm not pulling teeth and wasting time and getting stressful over a game. You serious? Nah, bro. If you mess with my mental vacation, which is what tabletop RPGs are, yeah, you gotta go. You gotta go. Ain't that right, honey? Yes, I am live streaming. Yeah. My wife is going walking with actually the wife of one of the people that I've been playing tabletop RPGs with for years. Isn't that something? So, yeah, so she came down here to let me know.
I also want you to see something what I built.
Well, yeah, I can see that later. I got people on the line. So no, I can see it later. That's cool. I know. I can see that.
I'm excited. I said no. No.
Jeez, man. All right, y'all. So yeah, if I'm going to do our tabletop RPGs, you got to come correct. You got to be on the same page. Listen, Rat plays with me, right? People will get a wrong idea from watching like one or two videos of mine and thinking that I'm a certain way when we play. Rat will tell you, he's just normal. He's just normal. But he's picky. That's it. That is it right there. When we're playing Mutant Year Zero. Rat is in my Mutant Year Zero campaign. We have only actually pretty much played once. And it's been quite a long time because everybody's got schedules and they're all over the place. We were supposed to play today. And then I forgot. I was like, bro, I got this the monthly live stream. I can't do today. I gotta be, I told people that I was going to do a monthly live stream. I'm going to keep to that because I missed it last month. So I can't keep skipping stuff, y'all. So, I don't know if we'll do it next week or not. We gotta work out the schedule. But when we played, it was 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. I forgot. Just a normal session, man. People doing their thing, getting lost in the mall. I'm just letting you guys know a little bit of what's going on in their campaign. Finding stuff, exploring, exploratory, all this other stuff. And they don't even know what's going to happen, what's about to happen, anything. I don't know what's about to happen actually, really, because you know how players are. They can go in a totally different direction. But Mutant Year Zero is the setting. See, this is what grabs me from tabletop RPGs because of RPG Elite Quality number 8, which is RPG Elite's focus on the story, not the system. The story in the tabletop RPG, when you're like just reading the core book, right? That's another thing that grabbed me from Vaesen. I'm like, oh my gosh, the stories, dude, because that's all that goes through my mind when I'm reading like the lore or the background of a tabletop RPG setting is, oh man, the stories that could develop from this, the really cool stuff. If you have the right people, RPG Elite Quality number 5, which is RPG Elites don't play with any and everyone, and very picky. But when you have that group, right? And we're all grown, we all have things going on. Everybody is like that, right? I get it, right? And we don't flip out if we can't play. It's just kind of like, all right, well, when can we play again? And everybody wants to play again, right? But again, okay, we've got to do this. He's got this going on. He's got this going on. Okay, well, let's try to work it out, and we just work it out. There you go. I like the procedural stuff, making the story like traveling. I've got, dude. Yeah, I mean, I think you, oh my God, you really would love. I think you'd love Vassar. But anyway, and a lot of things we can agree here. A lot of things make a tabletop RPG session just dope. The big one is going to be people who you're playing with. That's why that's one of the top 3, y'all. The people who you are playing with and the story that's being developed. Everything after that is gravy. It really is. If everyone is trying to get better, so they contribute more, to be a stronger part of the team, all the rest of that stuff, those 3 right there, those are the top 3 RPG Elite qualities. When you have that in mind, when you have those players, my group, Rat just joined our group, right? We did a tryout for him, and it was for, what was the name of that game? What's the name of the game, Rat, that we tried you out for? I'm drawing a blank right now. It was a video game. Steampunkish video game. What was the name of that game? And it has a tabletop RPG. But anyway, I can't think of it. But anyway, we played that, and it was his last. This was the last, because we have steps that you go through in order to join, like what we call the core over on our element server. And these are people who, if they pass all of these are just our go-to people when we play games, test games and stuff for the channel and all the rest of that. Some of the Mutant Year Zero stuff I do plan on having here on the channel. Some of that stuff will be behind a paywall. Some of it, it just depends. But it's going to be one of those times where I'm recording them and they don't know it. Because you'll get that it's the real deal. It's the real session. It's how it goes down. But we'll be playing virtually because Rat's in Canada. I'm here in America. Got a couple other guys who are here locally. And then we got one guy who's over in Uzbekistan, for crying out loud. Like, great player though. But yeah, when you have that core, then you just have go-to people for the rest of your life. So that's really what the core is, if I'm going to keep it a Benjamin, is these are just my go-to people when I want to test and or just play a game. Whether it be virtually, whether it be in person. These are just my go-to people. If one day I'm just not doing anything, I feel like playing tabletop RPG, and I just want to play with one other person or whatever, I might hit up Rat. Rat, what are you doing? I'm getting ready to get into such and such. You want to get into this with me, right? If he can't, I'll go to somebody else, right? If they can't, okay, well, then maybe I'll have to play solo that day. Or maybe I can get 2 of them that day to play with me. And then we'll start something, and we probably won't pick it up for a long time. That's okay, because really it's the experience and the story snippets that we are creating together. And not only are we creating that, but we're creating that, albeit virtual at this moment, that bond, that gaming bond, and more than that, just the human connection. So folks, tabletop RPGs is a whole lot deeper than what we just don't talk about it enough. It really is. And I really believe this stuff that I put on my channel. I am keeping it a buck. Everything that comes out of my mouth, I really, really believe. So when I talk about the power of the story, I believe in the power of the story. I believe the story is paramount. I believe that playing and just being a murder hobo or just, looking at dice or just looking at mechanics, I believe that stuff is boring. If that's the whole totality of it. When it lends itself to the story, that's different. When that's all that it is and everybody's messing around all the time and whatever, I can't do it. It's just, I just feel like I'm wasting my time, and I don't want to do that. And that's one thing about RPG Elites. We just don't like to waste our time. I remember, and I think it was Rat that told me this, but yeah, it was Rat because he was playing Shadowrun, I think. He said that he had led his group. Something that happened in his group. He runs Shadowrun, and him and I think his wife and his kids, and I don't know if somebody else, he'd have to let you know. He's in the chat, but they were running a session, Shadowrun, and he had led them to this place, right? And they, it was, I don't know if it was climactic, but it sounded like it. And he was like, okay, now you get to describe how you do this stuff, so how do you do this? And they didn't take the bait. It was kind of like, oh, that was really disappointing. Like he got him to the place, cool place in the story, but it just, they didn't cross the threshold on that. And then this is what he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he says, I think it's that RPG Elite qualities that are rubbing off on me. I was like, once you get to that place, and put it this way, again, I'll play with new players. Why? Because I can be an evangelist and a guide at that point. I will even play, listen to me very carefully, I will play with those who are RPG Elite-ish. What do I mean? I will play with people who are good people to play with, just decent people to play with. And they may not be the best, role players or anything like that. That's not the issue, and that's not the point. That's not what it is. It's not being a good role player, which is quality number 4. We role play. It's not being a good role player. It's role playing, period. This is not about the quality. It's about the act. So we role play because it's a role playing game. Isn't that something? We didn't say, we're not looking at everybody. We're not looking for people to be thespians and all the rest of this stuff. I like being a thespian. I do. So when I role play my behind off. But everybody's not going to be at that level. That's fine. But not to do it at all, that's not fine. That's not fine. Right? There's something about role playing in a role playing game. I think it still makes a whole lot of people uncomfortable because there is a part of you that you have to become a little bit vulnerable. And having the right people around you that allow you to be vulnerable and not take advantage of that is golden. I got some stuff in the chat. I think Chris is a great designer, and that other guy was an awesome player. New players can be a lot of fun. They just see the situation and react. Yes, and also with new players, you don't have to. I'm bald, by the way. With new players, you don't have to break bad habits. Like, if people have been playing for a while or whatever, then many times they pick up these habits from just playing with the group that they play with. So if you add them to your group, have all these kind of like, oh, well, can we do this? Min-max, or murder hobo, or just really not focused in on the story, stuff like that. So sometimes you have to like break bad habits. I mean, as an RPG Elite, And I'm not willing to do now. Other RPG elites may be willing to do this. So let me preface that by saying that I just am not willing to do that. I am willing to, number one, new players all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. I will play with them. People who are RPG elite-ish, who is okay, there's an effort there. They're trying. They may not necessarily feel comfortable, but they're trying. They're trying to. Sure. So now you can see my camera and all the weird stuff that was with my camera, right? But yeah, I just don't. I'm not a babysitter, right? Um, when I come to play, we come to play. Um, and it's just, as you get older, my age, I'm 57, and no time for that, man. I just don't. No time. You know, part of that is generational. I'm Gen X, so part of that is generational. It's just how we are. We're just kind of like, man up. What's wrong with you, man? Or what's your problem? Get it together. um. So yeah, that's and I love my people. I love doing this. I love the live streaming, editing, videos, tabletop RPGs, discovering new stuff. I think part of it is just making sure that childlike quality never disappears. And I think that tabletop RPGs allow you to do that. There's other things like you could play a board game, but it's not the same. With a tabletop RPG, it really allows you to engage that imagination that you remember when you were little and you were running around, you and your friends, and playing pretend. And whether it was be with me, it was Bigfoot and what is it, Bigfoot and Little John or something like that. It was a television show back in the day, and I was always Bigfoot, and my friend across the street, he was always was it Little John? I forgot what the name of that show was. You guys will know. Um, but he was always the little one. I was always Bigfoot, and we would go in my front yard. In my front yard, we had this big tree, and it would be these big leaves during the fall. It would be these big leaves, and after Saturday morning cartoons, we would go outside and we'd be in those leaves, and we'd play in those leaves and jump up and down in them and play like we were. And tabletop RPGs allow you to do that and keep that in the mind, and sometimes even visually, like on a board, on maps, or things like that. And it has allowed, it keeps, I think it has the, gosh, you just don't understand how deep I think about this stuff, but I think it has the capability of keeping your mind young, which keeps you young. Um, and I think that's always, I think that's a good thing, you know, innocent, right? Sometimes some of these tabletop RPGs, I just don't get them. I just don't play them because, way too dark, way too, that's not my bad. That's not my, now, for something like, then you might say, well, why you play Vassar? Because that's kind of dark. Yeah, but there's deeper stories that can be told if you make it a little, I mean, this is the real world, y'all. Hello. Stuff is dark here, right? It helps you to deal with that. So I think that there's some kind of therapeutic part of it also. There's just so much that's good for tabletop RPGs. Yeah, there's different things. You've got, tabletop RPGs and pool. How simple is that, right? To have these, there's something, there's so much. I could talk about this for hours and hours. It's just, It's way too much, right? Co-op games. I like co-op games. It still works the imagination. You're still working with people, the whole teamwork and camaraderie thing going on. And then sometimes, man, I just like when I want to play a tabletop RPG and there's nobody else around, I'll just play solo. Why? Because I want to go to that place that's right here. I mean, I really want to go there right now. And I don't want to have to wait for somebody to hold me back from going on my mental vacation. Nah, I'll just play solo. That's cool. Because that's where I want to go. I want to be there for a while. And like I said, that going back to that place and returning back to that place all of the time, it just makes you younger. It keeps you young. It keeps your mind young. Might not keep your body young. That's up to you. You got to go out there and keep that young. But your mind, I think it helps in that regard. And I think it helps in so many other different ways also. So yeah, man. Tabletop RPGs all day, every day. Mutant Chronicles, very dark. I don't know if I have that game or not in PDF. I don't know. The kind of games that I cover on here, and Vaesen is not a non-dark game, right? But some of them is way too dark, and they take that stuff overboard. I'm not even touching that with nowhere. It'll never see the light of day on this channel. So I keep it to Traveler. I keep it to Coriolis. I keep it to City of Mist. I keep it to Outgunned. I keep it to Gamma World and Mutant Year Zero. And this is things I'm just coming off the top of the dome with. Like Blade Runner, I can be kind of dark too, a little dystopian stuff coming up. But there's something deep about that too when you do the story. When the story goes in a certain direction and can really have like discussions about our humanity and all the rest of this stuff when it's done well. Sometimes though, you got some people who just dark stuff just because it's dark. And I'm just like, why? Like that after a time that can mess with the mind. That can mess with the mind. It can mess with the soul. And so I try to keep it, I flutter between games, obviously, but there's certain games I'll return to. I could return to Vaesen and I would not have a problem, just because of the stories that could be told and the way that they can be told and where I live. That phrase that I use all the time, where I live. City of Mist is dope. It is a totally different system though. Like, you're going to have to rearrange how you think about tabletop RPGs. It is not the same. But once you wrap it around your head, you'll realize this is just really totally about the story. Like, this game is just about the story, period. Now, they've come out with 2 different iterations of that. They've come out with Otherscape, and they've come out with Legends of the Mist. They had to come out with a fantasy one, right? So that's what Legends of the Mist is. And they've been really pushing that lately. That's the one that they've been pushing. The Otherscape is a cyberpunk one, which is really dope. They've done a couple things with that. I've got the entire box set and everything and everything that goes with it. I got some wonderful stuff, Laura. And I'm going to play, eventually I'll play these games. And if not, I just give them away. I have no problem giving away games. Like none. Because you're only going to play so many anyway. But I keep them for the channel. That's why I keep them. Otherwise, I'd only have a handful of games. It smelled of Apocalypse World. It is Apocalypse World. But it looked good and the art was excellent. It is Apocalypse World. That's the system. That's the dice system that it uses. So it uses Powered by Apocalypse, right? So that's the dice system, strong hit, weak hit, that type of thing. I'm not talking about that though. That's not what I'm talking about. Because Starforged and even Ironforged, they both use the Powered by Apocalypse thing, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is their actual mechanic on how you make your character and all the rest of that stuff. You're just gonna have to change how you think about things when it comes to that. It's very different. Very different. I don't know about, you might be talking about a specific game. I don't know about Apocalypse World. I know about the system powered by Apocalypse, which is probably where it came from. I'm not sure. I don't know the background on that. And powered by Apocalypse, the system is another one of those systems that is, you want to talk about die systems. It's meh. Eh, that's how I look at it. Meh. But what it is good for, I'm going to, having said that, what it's good for is show is good for the story. It's good for stories where it's story driven, narrative driven stuff, where you want to keep it going or whatever. It's good for that. It's very good for that. It's excellent for that, actually. So, there's, like I said, there's different types of players who play tabletop RPGs. Some people like that crunchy, like I said, that crunchy riffs, GURPS, type of stuff. I can't do it. I'm sorry, I can't. And because RPG Elites again are about the story, we're going to lean towards those systems and games with lore that's going to be like very story driven, or those that can be, right? I've got games that I don't know whether they're going to be like that. Ascendant, I don't see it, right? Very crunchy. It's a crunchy system. He was doing so well at first. I even said it in the video when I did his game. I was like, you were doing so well. Vincent Baker wrote it. Now that I knew. He also wrote, oh gosh, that's the name of the game. You see, stupid stuff like that, I just won't even touch. With a name like that, I'm like, well, with where I live, you know why. So I'm just not going to touch that. That's just dumb. It's dumb to me. But then again, I don't like Walking Dead. I don't like any zombie apocalypse. I just think it's played out. I have Walking Dead. It's just, I just think that the whole thing is just played out. I think it is. So it's just really, again, being an RPG elite, I'm just picky. I'm just really picky. There's a lot of games that I've looked at, like massive amounts of games that you probably have never heard of. I'm just picky, and I think I'm going to do a Western. It's part of my deep dive. Before I do superheroes, now I was thinking about it. I think I'm going to do Boot Hill. Remember Boot Hill? Not the first edition, third. The Western. I think I'm going to do that. I'll do a deep dive. That'll be cool. We don't have a lot of Westerns, right? Because when we have Westerns, what do we have? What's that one? Pinnacle, Dead World. Is that what it's called? I think that's the one with man, I am drawing a blank on these systems today. But you guys know the system's got the playing cards and all the rest of that. Pinnacle Entertainment, they came out with that. What's the name of the system again? I'm drawing a blank today. I don't know why. And I have it in PDF. You know the system. But when they came out with a Western, it had to be like some zombie Western or something like that. I was like, come on. Can we not do this? Why? It's super popular. Of course, it was super popular. And I'm just not one. Deadlands. Yeah. There it is. Deadlands. Yeah. I just have no interest. It's just me, man. Just where I'm at in life. I wouldn't have been interested back in the day either, to be quite honest. It just wouldn't have drawn my interest. It has to have more than just it has to have more. And, there's some games, even in different genres, there's some, cyberpunk games and stuff like that I have in my collection, and I'm just like, it's just not drawing me in. You know, I'm reading the lore, and it's just not drawing me in. I don't know. Again, picky RPG Elite here. Yeah, give me a regular. Give me Boot Hill. Give me. There was another one too that I have. I forgot what the name of it is. Oh, what's the name of that game? I have another Western. Oh man, what is that game? What is the name of that game? I'll have to go through some of the games that I have. But I got it. I have the game, and I only have it in PDF. And of course, I don't do games. I don't do games I don't have in my hand to do an actual, unboxing or overview of or anything like that. But I do have there's a lot of really cool different types of tabletop RPGs out there. They have one called is it Warbirds? Warbirds. Um, and I think that's kind of like a World War II-ish thing, I think. Not sure. And sometimes I get games and then, I don't open them up for a really, really, really long time. So I don't know what I have. I have games over here. I forgot about all the Mongoose stuff that I have. There's so much. There's so much out there. And that is why I'm a tabletop RPG evangelist, because don't tell me you can't find a game for you. Get out of here with that noise. Yes, you can. And I will, hey, if to get somebody into a tabletop RPG, I will play something that I don't, you like Westerns? Okay, I guess it's time to play Westerns. Just to get you into so it's time for me to learn my Western tabletop RPG, right? And so I will learn that. Or you like Cyberpunk? Let's do it. Let's do some Otherscape. Let's go. Or, Cyberpunk or Cyberpunk Red or whatever you want to do. Let's do it. Hey, you like procedural kind of noir, dark noir, detective type of stuff? You can go City of Mist, or you can do an agnostic system like Cypher System or whatever. I mean, there is something for everybody. And so I am really trying to get my kids, my grandkids, all that. I'm really pushing for them to get into tabletop RPGs, because number one, it could be a family affair, because my family's spread out across the United States. And number two is there's always the connection. And number three, there's always the story that you can talk about. I've got Mercenary Spies and Private Eyes. I've got that. Oh, and I also have the one from Yellow Hand, Tales of Menace and Mystery. So that's another one. I'm really looking forward to actually getting into seeing how that game works. GURPS is just too much for me. I couldn't, I tried, I did, I made an effort. I made a strong concerted effort. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. I was just like, oh, bro, why is it that it's an hour in and I still haven't done making this character? It's crazy. So I was just like, I'm out, bro. So yeah, there's certain systems. There's a solo system for the Cypher system that's pretty simplistic and pretty dope, if you can find it. It's only in PDF, but it's dope. I have it. And when I play the Cypher system solo, that's what I use. So I don't use Mythic. I use the Cypher system. It's called the Chaos Emulator, Game Master Emulator. And I use that, right? So whenever there's a solo system, I will use that system instead of the Game Master Emulator, the Mythic Game Master Emulator. For example, if, Outgun doesn't have one, right? So I use the Mythic Game Master Emulator. However, Vaesen does have one. So I use that solo system. So, and so does the Electric State, that has one. But Blade Runner doesn't have one. So if I wanted to play Blade Runner solo, I'd have to use the Mythic Game Master Emulator. So and there's a lot of solo games out there, like a lot. So I can always scratch that itch. when I want to play a tabletop RPG. I know I have an itch right now to play one. I'm not gonna lie. I have an itch to play tabletop RPG as I'm sitting here talking to you, because I'm talking about Vassin, I'm talking about all these great games, and I'm like, shoot, I should probably, but I'm probably, because it's, you know, it's cool when the work that you do is just really, really fun. I'm going after I get done streaming, and I'm gonna probably get some steps in, and then I'll probably come back home. I'll probably work a little bit on my sermon for tomorrow, and then I'm going to record because I can finally do that now, I'm going to record the session for Outgun for the solo RPG Chronicles. Because I've been really waiting to get into this one. So yeah, man, let me get off here. It's been 3 hours now. It's 3.5 hours now. It's crazy. These live streams. So just to let you guys know, you're probably going to see this show up on my channel. You probably see snippets of this show up on my channel, either as a short or actually as a clip from this, right? Just to have more extra content out there. This will be on the public channel, by the way. So none of this stuff's going behind a paywall or anything like that. It's only when I have to get in and really do like a whole lot of work on something, that's the stuff that goes behind a paywall. Or if it's longer than 20 minutes, then that's the stuff that go behind the paywall. But then I could spend time on it. You know, I could take my time. I know that people are willing to invest in what it is that I'm doing. And again, you know, some people, they don't have the disposable income. That's fine. I'm cool. You got my public channel. You got plenty there. I got over 400 videos on there. Come on, son. You got plenty there. Trust me. Yeah, that's another thing too. In the age that we're in, go ahead and make your own. Do your own thing, man. I highly encourage you. I did a video on that, by the way. I was just encouraging people to be like, go ahead and do your thing. Create that game. Do it. You ain't got nothing. What do you got to lose? You ain't got Nathan to lose. You might as well go ahead and do it. Right? You're going to find that it's work, and it is. Do it for the love of it. And if you want to turn it into a business, turn it into one. Make a little Skrilla on the side. Ain't nothing wrong with making money. All right, so let's get that out there. There's nothing wrong with making money from doing this, all right? Your time and your work and your effort is valuable. All right? The Bible says it like this: a workman is worthy of his wages. And this is work. So do your thing, design your thing, put it out there, get it tested, do all the work that's necessary, man. You know, and go from there. You know, you don't need that many people. People think that you need all the, you know, you don't need that many people. You're not trying to be the game you refuse to mention by name on this channel, right? Get 500 people. That's a lot of people, dude. That's a lot of people that will play your game. You're being seen.
I'm being seen.
Goodbye. 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 I'm surprised she even shown herself on it. Now everybody in the world is going to see that, because she normally doesn't like to do that. She thinks that she doesn't know what a live stream is. So I probably shouldn't tell her. She probably thinks I'm just talking to you guys. She doesn't know this is going on over on YouTube. Whoops. But anyway, I'll have to tell her that after the fact. But I don't know. She wanted to come in here and stick her head and stuff. But anyway, y'all, let me get off of here. Thank you for hanging out with me there, Rogue and Rat and all the rest of you guys, and Nix, and those of you who stopped by. You'll see snippets of this all over the channel. This is one of those where I'm just going to use, you know, repurpose my own content and all the rest of that stuff. But I'm going to get off of here right now. I'll leave you with a little bit of music for a little bit, and then we're just going to sign off for Rilla McGilla. So you know how I do it, y'all. It's time for me to do my Snagglepuss, even though I'm not going to do my Snagglepuss right now. I think I have it set up in here. Do I have my Snagglepuss set up in here someplace? Let me see. I probably can do... I don't think so. Oh, yes, I do. Oh, my gosh. Hold up, y'all. Hold up.
So exit. Stage left.
Yes, oh, yes. I can do it on a live stream. How dope. All right, y'all. So you know what time it is. In the meantime, between time, go to the channel, watch whatever you want to watch and all the rest of this stuff. But me, you know me, I gots to go. God willing, I catch you on the next one on our Tuesday weekly video. Peace. 5,000 Leets. Oh, that's right. I'm gone. God bless y'all.